At Clyde Ironworks, every bite starts from scratch. Fried ravioli, onion rings, wood-fired pizza, in-house beers, steak stone sizzling, pasta, pretzels, cannoli, all made by hand. Clyde Ironworks, where food is made from scratch.
With me today, we're gonna have a good time. You've convinced me. I'm ready to switch my account. Oh my gosh. Specific answer. They're learning quick. Can we Google it? Whatever. Okay. He's a quick study.
There's so many words I want to say. Be careful. It is a love story.
You bet it is.
Fair.
I wasn't done.
Ask the questions that you think are silly. Thank you for joining. Bye.
I see a lot of just my friends vaping, and I see it like I hear about middle schoolers, high schoolers, elementary schoolers just vaping, and I just don't understand how such young people can get into such like an addictive substance, how they can just throw away time, money, health for what, nicotine? It really just doesn't make sense to me. And I feel like when I see my friends vaping and talking about how they spent this much money and how they've gone through this many vapes this week, just like really, it doesn't give me a positive outlook for them in the future if they can just get into such habits at such a young age.
There's nothing better than a Subway Series footlong, except when you add a new footlong sidekick, like the boss with a new footlong cookie. This might be my favorite sidekick ever. What?
Every epic footlong deserves a perfect sidekick.
Find your passion. Find your people. Find your purpose. Find your superior.
Vaping has almost become like an obsession, addiction.
Yellow Jacket Hockey is on the air from Westman Arena on the campus of the University of Wisconsin-Superior, where, stop me if you've heard this before, the Yellow Jackets are going to try to bounce back from a disappointing performance on a Friday as they take on the Saints from the College of St. Scholastica. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. I am John Garver, and if you were tuned in last night or were in the building last night, you saw for the third consecutive Friday a Yellow Jacket Hockey team that turned in a subpar performance, something that we have not been accustomed to over these last few seasons. There were times in the game last night where they seemed disinterested, times where they got outskated, they got outworked, they got outperformed across the board, and the result was a 4-1 loss to the University of Dubuque and denying the Yellow Jackets the opportunity to play in the championship game of the 2025 Superior Showdown, which is sponsored by Subway. And as a result, for the third consecutive Saturday, the Yellow Jackets are having to respond. And how are they going to respond? Well, a couple of weeks ago, they had that subpar Friday against these Saints from St. Scholastica and came back on Saturday and had a really good hockey game against Bethel. And you talk to the coaching staff after that one. They talked to Bethel's coaching staff, who said, this is one you can't be angry about losing because that was just a all-around really good hockey game. Last Friday, a subpar performance down at UW Eau Claire, and as a result, had to respond on Saturday, and they came out playing arguably their best period of the season in the first against Stevens Point, and by and large, carried that entire contest against the Pointers on the way to the win. So last night now, we come back here, the opportunity to play for their own tournament, which they had only won once, and that will stay intact here after this weekend with the loss last night. How are they going to respond? Yeah, they've got some guys out with injuries. Yeah, they've had some difficult situations come up over the course of the early stage of this season. How are they going to respond? I said going into the third period last night, we're going to learn a little bit about this team with how they handled the third period. And I will stick to that here today and say I think we are going to learn today what kind of a team the Yellow Jackets are going to be this season. Are they going to take off and be elite like they were last season? Are they going to not be elite and kind of just be that win one, lose one, win one, lose one kind of team? Saving grace in this whole thing, if you go back to last season, right around this time, and Brian Meisner and I talked about this in the postgame show last night, the Yellow Jackets last year, and yes, last year was last year, but this Yellow Jacket team last season, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, got to the championship game of this tournament against St. Scholastica, lost that game. And I think they were 500 or one game above 500 at that point. I would have to go back and look. I should have done my research. I did not. Apologies for the lack of journalistic duty on that. But they had a meeting after that and decided we're done. We're not doing this anymore. And they won 9 in a row at that point and didn't lose again until February. So this is not the sky is falling kind of thing. We are not Chicken Little here. We are not saying that. But what we are saying is it gets late early in Division III hockey. You are already beyond the quarter pole of your season, nearing the 1/3 pole of your season. At what point are the Yellow Jackets going to decide we're done and we are going to start playing like the team we can be? We know we can be. This is not a young team. This is a veteran team. They have been there. They are battle-tested. How are they going to respond here today? I think this is the day where we figure out what kind of a club the 25-26 Yellow Jackets are going to be. This is the day where the identity will be forged. This is the day where we know this is what the rest of this campaign is going to be like. It's going to be a very interesting afternoon here at Westman Arena. It's going to be a sparse afternoon at Westman Arena. I think we're going to have a crowd similar to post-COVID, where you're only allowed to have like 12 people in the building. I feel like that's what it's going to be here today. This is going to be a very interesting broadcast. It's going to be a very interesting game. And in a lot of ways, I'm really looking forward to bringing this to everybody. We don't have a whole lot on the pregame show today. We got started a little bit later on. We do not have a coach interview because this is one of those days where, I looked at it and said, I don't need to talk to him. And he doesn't need to talk to me. We don't need to beat a dead horse here. We didn't pull in any of the players today. They needed to have their space. They needed to figure everything out. So it's going to be just me and Jason riffing here for a little while. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We will revisit last night and kind of work our way through all of that. We'll take a look at the starters. All that coming up on the pregame show, sponsored by National Bank of Commerce right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. We're back here at Westman Arena. It's the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. About 11 minutes away from the start of the consolation game of the 2025 Superior Showdown. Take between the Yellow Jackets and the College of St. Scholastica. Well, how do we get here? St. Scholastica came up on the short end of the stick in the opening game of the tournament yesterday, losing to Lawrence 5-0. In a game that I said afterward, that definitely was not one I had on my bingo card. There's no doubt about that. I did not see that one coming. And I was equally as surprised at the result of the second game, too. I did not see the Yellow Jackets getting beaten up the way they did last night, falling to Dubuque 4-1. In the first period, the Yellow Jackets, they looked all right. They outshot Dubuque 13-9, and it was a result of a turnover that Dubuque got the only goal of the period, that one coming at 14:36. It was Zach Burfoot who scored the goal. The Yellow Jackets turning it over behind their net, and Burfoot was completely uncovered in front and was able to beat Jan Skorpik up high for his third of the season. Nikita Borodayenko and Zach Clyde got the assist, 1-0 Dubuque after one. In the second period, early on the power play, the Spartans were able to increase their lead at 2:47. Second goal of the season for Max Erstad, who got the puck kind of to the right side of the net, maybe just a couple feet off the goal line, and he tucked a shot on the ice on the wide side, so basically shot all the way around Jan Skorpik on the stick side and beat him down low for his second goal of the season. Nikita Borodayenko, get used to that name because he's probably the MVP of this tournament. Even if he doesn't play today, he's probably going to be the MVP of this tournament. He got one of the assists. Jack Poweski got the other, and it was 2-0, 2:47 into the second period. Shots on goal in the second period were 7-7, so it was dead even, and that was like we saw the last couple of Fridays. The first period was okay, and then in the second period, things just kind of fell apart. Pucks stopped getting to the net. Players stopped creating traffic in front. Passes were nowhere near where they needed to be. They were behind guys. They were in skates. They were waist high at about 85 miles per hour. Expect your winger to do something with that breakout pass. It's not going to happen. And it's 2-0 Dubuque after two. Dubuque would stretch the lead again at 6:17 of the third period. Zach Clyde scoring his third of the season. He was left alone in front of the net again, and he got a prime shot from between the top of the goal crease and the hash marks and beat Jan Skorpik up high for his third. Nikita Borodayenko had an assist on that one, as you come to expect. And Maxim Lakic had the other assist. 3-0, 6:17 in. Yellow Jackets finally were able to break through at 13:02. An unassisted goal for Daniel Roosevelt, who created the turnover in the neutral zone and came in right down Broadway and wired a shot from between the circles. A great shot, real goal scorer's goal. That was at 13:02, and that made it 3-1. And all right, we got 6 minutes to go. We're only down 2. We've got some life here. And less than a minute later, it was snuffed out when Borodayenko, shocking, got a pass in the neutral zone, and he basically barreled his way down the right wing boards and cut to the middle and just kept going and outlasted everybody. And eventually Jan Skorpik had to try to make a play on it, and he sprawled, held the puck a little longer, and scored his fourth goal of the season. So a 4-point game for him. Burfoot got the assist, and at 13:55, so 53 seconds after the Yellow Jackets got on the board, suddenly, just like that, it's a 4-1 lead, and that really sucked the life out of anything that the Yellow Jackets thought they might be able to have the rest of the way. Shots in the third period, the Yellow Jackets had 11 for a game total of 31, and Dubuque had 6 for a game total of 22. So 4 goals on 22 shots, pretty good shooting percentage for the Spartans last night. I will not hang it on Jan Skorpik. There wasn't a whole heck of a lot he could do and throughout all of that, but really was a disappointing result for the Yellow Jackets last night. So the other game going on tonight will be at 7 o'clock. That'll be Lawrence taking on Dubuque for the championship, and that will be obviously following up this one here. You can see that on Yellow Jacket TV. That one will not be on KUWS. Time to take a look at the starting lineups in this one. Beginning with the Yellow Jackets, it's going to be Kobe Grant getting the start. The 6'1", 190-pound junior from Vernon, British Columbia, making his second appearance on the season. He's 0-0-1, has a 2.77 goals against average, a 912 save percentage. Was very good in that Saturday game down at St. Olaf, especially in the shootout. He was lights out in the shootout for the Yellow Jackets that day. So he will get the starting goal. The starting 5 in front of him. The defense pair will be Evan Axel and Dusty Bergstrom. And the forward line is a combo of 2 lines. The line that they refer to as El Paso, because all 3 of these players played for El Paso in the North American Hockey League. A.J. Reed on the left wing. Andrew Larson will center the line, and Rupe Tuomiokso will be on the right side. However, they are not aligned today. They are just starting. So the Yellow Jacket forward lines, Carson Riddle will have Rupe Tuomioks on the right wing, A.J. Reed on the left. Chris Ishmael will center Logan Nickerson on the right wing and Daniel Roosevelt on the left. So Nickerson back in the lineup. He hasn't played since the St. Scholastica game previously, and he only skated one period there. He's basically played, I think, 2.5 periods for the entire season so far because of the injury that he has had. Good to have him back in the lineup because he brings an element that this team sorely needs. Justin Dauphiné will have Zach Lucier on the right wing and Andrew Larson on the left, and then Alexei Yermolnik will have Austin Paul on the right wing, Cade Shea on the left. Defense pairs will be Matthew Danziger, Tyler Ryder, Evan Axel, Dusty Bergstrom, and Liam Whitehouse with Jordan Gibbs. Extra forward tonight is going to be Brady Clemenson, backing up Kobe Grant, Jan Skorpic, and Jack Boschert. On the other side, Caden Edstrom is going to be the starter between the pipes once again for St. Scholastica. Edstrom is a 5'10", 165-pound freshman from Fairplay, Colorado. Yesterday was his collegiate debut, so he's 0-1, has a goals against average of 5 and a save percentage of 80. And those are your starting lineups for today. Keys to the game, man. Let's do it. I was going to take a break here, but we'll take it after the introductions. What do you got today?
No problem. So 3 keys to the game. It was fitting that our DJ was spinning Urgent by Foreigner before this pregame contest tonight because it's really that kind of night. You know, we've got really a question of what team wants to win a hockey game. I mean, this is an odd start time, an afternoon game, a third place game. This is a game that either team could sleepwalk through. We're just going to have to find out which team actually wants to win this one. And I think, like you said earlier in the pregame show, it's going to tell you a little bit about who these teams are to see which team actually wants to come out here and win this game. Thank goodness it's a rivalry at least, so there's something
to play for.
So that's first key. Second key to the game, I think it's going to be an interesting contest from a shot blocking standpoint. Last time when we saw Scholastica, they blocked like 19 shots.
Yes.
And UWS just could not get anything through to the cage. It'll be interesting to see if the Yellow Jackets are able to make the adjustment today and be able to get some shots through the cage, especially against a goaltender that hasn't played a whole lot, as you just mentioned. And that is the third key. We've got 2 goalies that haven't played a whole lot this season, including a third goaltender from Scholastica, a guy who hasn't played since November 8th for UWS. So which one of those 2 goalies is going to have a day today? I think that's going to go a long way toward determining who wins this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating day because I think St. Scholastica is in a lot of the same place that the Yellow Jackets are. Talking to their broadcaster, Steve Jezerski, before the game. Lousy Fridays, good Saturdays, so I mean, both these teams are in a very similar place. The one thing that St. Scholastica has on the Yellow Jackets, they're young. It's kind of expected. This is a veteran Yellow Jacket club.
Right, yeah, both teams have been win one, lose one for the last 4.
That'll do it for the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show, sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. When we come back, drop of the puck between the Yellow Jackets and the Saints from Westman Arena. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. And the Saints rained on the Yellow Jackets parade, winning that one 3-1. Up until Roosevelt's goal last night, it was a long stretch of Friday evenings without a goal on the board. So let's see if the Jackets can bounce back the way that they have been able to so far this season. Kobe Grant defends the goal. 2 hour left, and the Yellow Jackets will be going left to right here in period number 1. Andrew Larson stepping in to take the face-off against Jan Uvis-Järvi, and we are underway here from Westman Arena. The opening face-off sponsored by Barker's Island Inn, Northern Wisconsin's Island Getaway, and we have a stoppage immediately as the rink-wide pass goes off the stick of Gavin Gunderson and out of play. And we got a face-off right away here, just 8 seconds in, coming up right back in that center face-off circle. And once again, it'll be Uvis-Järvi for St. Scholastica and Larson for the Yellow Jackets. And once again, St. Scholastica controls the face-off. In the neutral zone, Hunter Hansen on the left wing drives it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Gunderson couldn't handle it, and A.J. Reed comes away with it here. Reed speeding up the left wing, comes into the St. Scholastica zone, loses his footing. Puck along the end boards behind the Saints net. Tubo Mioksa's got it there. He's tied up by Wyatt Worst, who knocks him off his skates. Now Evan Pejos has it for St. Scholastica. Passes that one up the middle for Hunter Hansen. Hansen now crosses the red line, backhands it into Yellow Jacket territory. Dusty Bergstrom gets there. Passes that one up the left wing. It's not going to leave the zone. Bergstrom regaining control behind his own net. He'll set up shot there and then throw it over to the left wing. Roosevelt couldn't handle the pass. Tuo Mioksa with a great feed off the boards right onto the tape of Andrew Larson. He dumps it in right corner St. Scholastica zone. Chasing it down for the Jackets was Roosevelt. St. Scholastica regaining control here now, and they feed it out to center for Luke McCarthy. Now ahead for Jared Scott, right wing. Scott in the right corner, knocked off the play momentarily by Liam Whitehouse. The puck free behind the net. Panzer's got it now here for St. Scholastica. Passes that one out front. It comes all the way up to the left point for Junker. His shot's going to go wide. Roosevelt on the left wing will bank that off the boards to center. Logan Nickerson now has it as he crosses the St. Scholastica line. Drops it into the high slot here. This is Ishmael. Fires, and that's going to miss wide. Picked up in the right corner. Good hit by Roosevelt, freeing the puck up. Nickerson feeds it to the right point now. Danziger, he's got it. Right circle. Danziger carries behind the St. Scholastica net. Slides around a check up top. This is Tyler Ryder. He goes off the end board. Puck kicks right back up the slot. Bouncing puck will be settled down by Panzer, and he's going to carry it into the neutral zone. Panzer gets knocked off his skates, but he was able to get the red line and dump it in. Now picked up behind the net by Matt Danziger over to the left wing side. Picking up speed, Ryder sends it ahead for Lucier. Zach Lucier down to the left wing corner. He bumps into a man behind the net, but the Saints are going to come away with the puck, then turn it over. Dauphiné was able to break it up in the high slot. Dauphiné for the Jackets. Tried to pass it to the left wing for Lucier, but it hits a skate and comes back into the neutral zone. Jackets will drive it back into Saints territory, but in a step ahead of the play on the left side was Zach Lucier. And the Yellow Jackets are going to be whistled for an offside. 17:40 remaining here, first period. No score between the Yellow Jackets and St. Scholastica. John Garver and Jason Roan with you here on this Saturday afternoon. The consolation championship game of the 2025 Superior Showdown, sponsored by Subway. St. Scholastica controlling the face-off. They dump it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Behind the net, Evan Axel wanted to go to the right wing boards, but he was sandwiched into the end wall. Puck ends up in the left wing corner now of the Yellow Jacket zone. Axel has his man wrapped up. Working the puck free now, Kenan Riles for St. Scholastica. Riles leaving it in the corner. Lawson Kimball goes behind the net trying to give it to Andrew Cumming, but that pass isn't going to connect. Right wing corner, Yellow Jacket zone now. Larson gets it left wing boards, went to clear and puts it up into the bench. And we're going to get a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone.
You know, one of the many things that makes John the best on play-by-play is that at a tournament sponsored by Subway, he can work the verb sandwiched in during the first 5 minutes of the first period.
Subtle, but absolutely perfect. Wyatt Worst from the left point sends that one wide of the goal. Behind the Yellow Jacket net now, controlling it here is Uvis-Järvi. Uvis-Järvi up to Wyatt Worst at the left point. His pass is going to be picked off. Yarmolnik now sends it ahead for Cade Shea. He crosses the red and dumps it in. He goes after it with Evan Pejos. Shea with a nice job to hold up Pejos and then move it back behind the goal now. The puck comes to the left wing corner. Clearing attempt held in left point Gibbs. He goes down the wall for Shea. That's not going to go deep. Gibbs gets it back. Wrist shot from the point and a save made by Edstrom. Now the Jackets get it back. Knocked off his skates there. That was absolutely a hand pass, and I was wondering if they were going to call that one or if Austin Paul was sneaky enough, but not so. And we're going to get a face-off here in the St. Scholastica zone. 16:26 remaining. First period. No score between the Yellow Jackets and the Saints. Carson Riddle in to take the draw for the Yellow Jackets. He'll do the honors with Uvis Yarvi. Jackets controlling it on their side of center. It's going to be flipped into the Saints zone. Comes back to neutral ice. Tyler Ryder's got it here. He backhands it into the Saints zone once again. Evan Pejos behind his net. Gives it up for Gunderson now on the right wing. His pass picked off at center by Brady Clemenson, who moves it ahead for Riddle. Riddle carries behind the St. Scholastica net, gets bumped off the play by Pejos. In to help out for the Yellow Jackets now, Tubo Mioksa. That one's going to come across over to Danziger on the right side, but he overskates the puck, and Pejos comes back the other way. Feeds it up the left wing for Gunderson, who lets it go into Yellow Jacket territory. St. Scholastica will change personnel now, and Tyler Ryder will carry it to center. Across the red line, he rifles it in. It comes around the boards. Awfully high there, too. Usually you want that wrap to be a little bit lower. Nobody got a piece of that one, and it comes back the other way quickly. On the right wing, McCarthy into the Yellow Jacket zone. Puck is picked up along the end board by the Yellow Jackets. It's Yarmolnik coming out with it here now. Alexei Yarmolnik's pass. Dangerous one across the high slot, but it does come out to center. Austin Paul moved it ahead for Cade Shea, and that one's going to be broken up, and now we're going to get a stoppage in play. An offside call on the Yellow Jackets.
Risky pass by Yarmolnik there, going all the way across the ice in the defensive zone, but he knew what he was doing. He put a lot on it and made sure it was like thigh high as well, so not an easy pass to intercept either.
Junker for St. Scholastica. Passes that one for McCarthy, and that one also had a little bit too much steam on it and comes all the way down, and that will be icing. You know, I just realized here, by my count, I am sandwiched between 1, 2, 3 Grand Rapids High School graduates.
Isn't that a great feeling?
No, it's not. It's not. My inferiority complex from Chisholm High School kicking in big time right now.
Edina of the Iron Range making an appearance up here in the Westman Arena press box today.
On the right wing side, the shot comes in from Axel, and the save is made by Edstrom. His stick got hit as he was in the act of shooting, so it didn't get all the way there. Now a shot from Axel at the right point, whistles high and wide. Meanwhile, back the other way now. McCarthy for St. Scholastica crosses the red and flips it in. It's going to come down behind the Yellow Jacket net, picked up here by Bergstrom, and he'll flip it the other direction all the way down on goal, so the icing will be negated there. Big check along the end board by Logan Nickerson as he knocks down a man. Puck coming back the other way now, 2-on-2 to center. This is Kroon for St. Scholastica. He'll slide that into the left corner. Puck comes back up the boards again, unable to clear Ishmael as the shot goes wide of the Yellow Jacket net, and that's going to come all the way back to neutral ice. Lawson Kimball for the Saints has it in his own zone. Kimball, poke check by Nickerson, who's got it on the right wing side. Nickerson across the line, right circle, takes the shot, and Edstrom's going to be the save. He will hold on to that, and we'll have a face-off coming here in the St. Scholastica zone. 13:58 to play, first period. Yellow Jackets and St. Scholastica scoreless.
Freshman defenseman Lawson Kimball taking a dangerous risk there, being the last guy back and trying to rush that puck single-handedly through the neutral zone. Ended up being stripped of it, turning into a scoring chance the other way for the Yellow Jackets.
Larson on the right wing boards, passes to the right point for Danziger. He throws it toward the net, it just goes wide. Now Lucier in the right wing corner. He's going to play it back behind the goal for Dauphiné, who gets knocked down. Loose puck picked up by Larson. He carries up the boards, now goes down low again for Dauphiné, but it's intercepted. Really dangerous pass by Pejos there, but the Saints able to recover, and Riley Giroux is going to play that into the neutral zone. Now Ryder for the Jackets up the left wing. Sends it across the St. Scholastica line. Dauphiné down to the corner. He's knocked off the play. Wyatt Worth sends the Saints back the other direction. They turn it over. Behind the net now Dauphiné tries to spin away from Pejos, but he does a good job to break that one up. And heading the other way, Giroux for St. Scholastica. His pass is going to be broken up. Jackets regaining control here now in the neutral zone on the left side. Lucier to the middle for Dauphiné. Then he fans on the pass. And Cumming will back it up for St. Scholastica. Jackets regaining control now in the St. zone. This is Tuomioksa, right circle, fires and misses high. And that one's going to go up over the glass and out of play. Tried to go high on the short side and ends up driving that one into the netting.
Wyatt Worst with the defensive zone turnover there that led to a chance for UWS off the half boards.
Had an opportunity to talk to Zach Lucier last night and bring up his soccer style play last Saturday against Stevens Point. He did confirm that he had some soccer in his past and actually went back and saw that clip and got a pretty good laugh out of it. Hahn behind the net for St. Scholastica, passes it ahead. Gunderson cuts off the right wing, feeds to the left side, and Junker will dump that down into the Yellow Jacket zone. Bergstrom up the left wing. It gets past 2-on-1 for the Jackets now. This is Carson Riddle across the line. Left circle, fires, he hits the post. Riddle tried to go short side with that one and rings the iron. Score stays 0-0. 12.5 to go, first period. Now Riddle with the steal. Feeds it into the slot. Tuomioksa scores! Carson Riddle forces the turnover, and Rupe goes backhand top shelf. Jackets in front.
Great sequence for Rupe there. Drove hard to the net, took the defender with him that gave Riddle a little bit of space to fire that shot off the post, and ends up having the puck come back to him, and he finishes it with a great shot. Gets that all-important first goal for the Yellow Jackets.
Time of the goal, 7:38. Tuomioksa's fourth. Jackets in front early. Much better team when they are playing in front. Puck back in the St. Scholastica zone again. Saints will clear it.
For your Yellow Jackets was number 17, Rupe Tuomioksa. He was assisted by number 15, Carson Riddle. That's
Riddle with the lone helper on that goal. Jackets in front from the neutral zone. Cade Shea sends it into St. Scholastica territory. McCarthy now with a dangerous pass across the high slot. Jackets able to break that one up. Back in the St. Scholastica zone again. This is Kimball with it for the Saints. Lawson Kimball now up the right wing. Sends it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Grant out of his net. Wraps it around the left side. Ryder chops it for Roosevelt, but that's not going to leave the zone. Now it's back behind the net. Scooped up there by the Yellow Jackets' Tyler Ryder. The senior defenseman out of Byron Center, Michigan, flips it in. Saints play it right back out into the Yellow Jacket zone on the left wing. Pass is dropped off now for Kennett. Ty Kennett, right wing corner, throws it back behind the goal for Emmett Worst. Up the left wing boards now for Wyatt Worst. He centers, and Tyler Ryder will pick that one off. Ryder around the left side, chipped ahead Roosevelt. Ishmael gets it, and he'll flip it into the neutral zone. Bouncing puck comes to the St. Scholastica line. Puck's now sent into the Yellow Jacket zone. It's going to be tipped on net and covered up. And a face-off coming up here in the Yellow Jacket zone. And if they actually give the shot, that's the first shot on net for St. Scholastica here as we near the midpoint to the first period.
I was wondering about that. No shots on goal showing on the main scoreboard.
There's
the center
one.
of the ice, but we can see it on our game stats.
Well, no shots on goal for the home squad. There is one for the visitors that they did just put on the board. So shots currently 6-1 in favor of the Yellow Jackets here, and more importantly, they have the 1-0 lead. Puck dumped into the Yellow Jacket zone. It comes around behind the net. Tipped up the boards by Bergstrom. It gets into the neutral zone. Saints will regroup. Hahn now at the red line, dumps it in. Bergstrom retrieves for the Yellow Jackets, passes it behind the net for Axel. Up the left wing, Roosevelt. He banks it out into the neutral zone. Saints come back in. Bergstrom once again has it for the Jackets here. He'll leave it for Axel, who retreats behind his goal and then sends it ahead at center. Nickerson tips it down to the Saints zone. Icing waved off. Very
Strange.
late wave off by the linesman. Everybody had already crossed over the imaginary line. Now Tuomioksa, rink-wide feed tipped into the Saints zone by Riddle. Puck comes around behind the net. Tuomioksa's got it on the right wing. Throws that one across off the stick of Jordan Gibbs. And the puck will be carried back the other direction for St. Scholastica. Rielts falls down at the red line. Jackets will regain control in their own zone, as this is A.J. Reed circling his net and coming out the right wing side. Reed to center. Across the St. Scholastica line. Right circle. Fires and misses that one just wide. Had good wood on that one. Gibbs at the left point. Sends it back down low behind the net. Axel Jalo-Järvi plays that around again to Rielts on the right wing. He turns it over at center. Reed tried to settle the puck down. Saints will regain control coming into the Yellow Jacket zone. Somehow that's not offside. Okay, not really sure about that, but at any rate, play continuing on. Right wing corner, Yellow Jacket zone. Carson Riddle with the puck here. Chops that one up the left wing for Reed. He's muscled off the play by Kimball. Yellow Jackets get it back, and Riddle is going to tip it into the neutral zone. Now the Saints come back. Lawson Kimball backhands it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Gibbs behind the net gets tied up. Centering feed out front. The shot blocked by Whitehouse. Kenan Rielts with the shot from the left circle. Whitehouse with the block in front. Now it's Liam Whitehouse for the Jackets back the other way. Whitehouse across the red, flips it in. Puck comes down in the St. Scholastica zone. Kimball ties up his man behind the net. And the Saints will circle and come back with Andrew Cumming to center. He'll cross the red and backhand it into the Yellow Jackets zone. Out of the goal to set it up, Kobe Grant. Grant leaves it for Ryder to the right wing side. He's got Danziger there. Now Danziger to the neutral zone. Across the red, long shot goes off the blocker of Edstrom into the netting. And we're going to get a face-off coming up here in St. Scholastica territory. 8:24 remaining here, opening period. Yellow Jackets with the 1-0 lead. And speaking of scoring, Yellow Jacket Hockey and Bills Distributing are partnering to benefit Folds of Honor for the 10th year in a row. Every time the Yellow Jackets score a goal at home, Bills Distributing will donate $20 to Folds of Honor, helping provide scholarships and educational assistance for the families of fallen or severely wounded servicemen and women and first responders.
Good start for the Yellow Jackets here, obviously with the 1-0 lead. Sizable edge in shots on goal. Everything you'd want to start this one here on a Saturday afternoon.
You mentioned too, Jason, the block shots. The last time these teams met in St. Scholastica, I believe, had 19 blocks. Dubuque had 24 last night.
Wow. It's remarkable. That's a huge.
And I commented during the second period that they were absolutely selling out in every way possible. They were diving in front of pucks. They were throwing their faces into things. Sticks were flying into passing lanes. And there were times where we were going to pass through 3 sticks and a body in that passing lane to try and make that play. Wow. The laws of physics don't allow that. Behind the St. Scholastica net, Pejos flips that out into the neutral zone. That's going to come all the way down. Icing is going to be waved. Danziger there first, throws it up the right wing. Not going to leave the zone, however, as Panzer's got it now. Centering feed in front for Scott, broken up. The Jackets come back to center with it here as Austin Paul clears it to neutral ice. Pejos has it again. Finds McCarthy on the left wing boards. Puck stripped away from him, and Yarmolnik will dump that down into the St. Scholastica zone. 80% of the Yellow Jacket line heads off the ice as Yarmolnik forces the Saints all the way down behind their net. Now Wyatt Wurst plays it back the other way. Puck broken up right at the Yellow Jacket blue line, and Larson will get it back into the St. Scholastica zone. Now at center, Dauphiné breaks up the play. Jackets have to wait for Lucier to get onside. Pejos regains control for St. Scholastica. 7.5 minutes to go here in this first period. 1-0 Yellow Jackets, courtesy of Rupe Tuomioksa's 4th goal of the season. In the neutral zone now, Pejos for St. Scholastica backs it up into his own zone. Evan Pejos gets away from Larson and carries it to the neutral zone, crosses the red, enters Yellow Jacket territory on the right wing, and then throws a shot right through the goal crease. It comes up to Wyatt Wurst at the left point. He goes down the left wing boards. His pass broken up there. The Jackets' Lucier regains control as Kroon tried to throw that one back into the high slot. Lucier clears. Yellow Jackets will force St. Scholastica all the way back down behind their net. On the right wing boards now, Pejos fires it rink wide on the left for Emmett Wurst. Jackets break it up now. Dauphiné across the St. Scholastica line. Wanted to get to Larson in the corner. That's broken up. Puck comes back to neutral ice. Taken here by Gibbs as he had to wait for his mates to get onside before he could make a play. He dumps it in, and St. Scholastica coming back quickly the other direction now. Junker across the Yellow Jacket line. Drops it for Kroon. Kroon in the high slot. Gives it over. Shot by Hahn taken from the right side. Tipped over the top of the net. Now it's Junker from the left point, has his shot blocked. Gunderson turns and fires, has his shot blocked. Whitehouse for the Yellow Jackets regains control and sends it behind the net. Saints get it back. They feed it into the right circle. A quick shot taken there by Emmett Wurst. Stick save made by Grant. Jackets back the other way quickly. Tuomioksa up the right wing side. Hits the brakes in the circle. Gives it to Riddle. A shot and the save is made by Edstrom. He will hang on, and a face-off coming in the St. Scholastica zone. Tuomioxa is electrifying when he's on, man, because he can fly and he can cut on a dime. Unbelievable hands. He's going to be a good one.
Yeah, he's been fun to watch. A great addition for this program. There he was battling a little bit of a rolling puck. Got it to sit flat at the last second and made a great pass to Riddle.
Roosevelt on the right wing for the Yellow Jackets gets put into the boards. Hahn picks it up behind his net, gets it to the line, not out. Ryder holds left point. His shot's going to miss wide. Puck's going to come up on the left wing boards. Hunter Hansen for St. Scholastica carries it behind the net and then decides to leave it for Junker. Junker flips that one, hits something along the boards. I think a St. Scholastica player pops up in the air. Jackets able to play it back down low. Nickerson's got it here, right wing corner. He'll cycle it for Ishmael. Ishmael sends it up top for Ryder. He has his shot blocked. Gunderson gets it back for the Saints and clears, but the Yellow Jackets will quickly regain control and come back on the attack. In the neutral zone, Roosevelt gives it on the right wing. Nickerson now. Nickerson tried to center it for Ishmael going to the net, but that doesn't go. Now Nickerson, right point, winds and fires. That one knocked out of the air by Kimball, and he'll get it to neutral ice. Yellow Jackets try to go back in quickly, but Axel's pass is intercepted. Roosevelt regaining control here now. Backs it up for Ryder. Ahead on the right side, it's Axel. Evan Axel for the Jackets down into the right wing corner as we've passed the 15-minute mark of this opening period. 1-0, the Yellow Jackets leading. Puck is flipped up the right wing boards. Clemenson drops to Anita, hold the zone. And now the puck up to the right point. The shot by Axel, tipped in front by Lucier. It goes wide. Bergstrom pinches from the left point behind the net for Lucier. Out front the shot, and that one got blocked. Now Lucier up top, one-timer. Axel, that just goes wide of the net. Left side, Clemenson, a drive and the save. Rebound by Lucier and another save by Edstrom. On the left side for the Yellow Jackets, puck just goes past Brady Clemenson. Saints will clear. Yellow Jackets create the turnover at center ice. Puck pops up in the air. Lucier gets a stick on it. Saints with the steal. Wyatt Wurst up the left wing into the Yellow Jackets zone. Gets knocked off the play with a good check by Liam Whitehouse. And now Whitehouse has the puck for the Yellow Jackets here. He turns it over to McCarthy. Whitehouse gets it back. His clearing attempt held in from at the left point by Wyatt Wurst. Yellow Jackets utilize the hand pass to clear the zone, and that'll be a stoppage in play with 3:54 remaining here in this first period. Shots 9-2 Yellow Jackets. They lead 1-0.
Whitehouse has been rock solid in this one so far. Big hit there on Wurst, and also has a couple of shot blocks already in this one.
And that's absolutely his game.
Right.
There is nothing fancy about the game of Liam Whitehouse, and I love it.
Very effective. Uses his size well.
Face off to the right of Kobe Grant here. Jackets control it. Cade Shea has got it, and he'll pass it ahead to the neutral zone. A foot race. Wyatt Wurst and Austin Paul. And Wyatt Wurst is going to win that, and Austin Paul is going to go to the penalty box.
As he should.
He took down Wyatt Wurst at the end of that after the whistle. And Wyatt Wurst, credit to him for knowing where he was on the ice, got his legs up in the air and absorbed the bulk of that with his butt and his back of the legs. That could have been very bad.
Yeah, dangerous looking play there. Definitely don't want to have your stick in the opponent's legs as they're both pursuing a puck like that. Just kind of a strange choice there, frankly. Glad that everybody came out of it without any injuries.
That was very dangerous looking. At any rate, Austin Paul, 2 for tripping. Time of the penalty, 16-14. St. Scholastica power play, not too shabby, 15.4%. Yellow Jacket PK, 90%. But 3 consecutive games with allowing one on the man advantage here. So percentage good, trending wrong direction. Saints win the face-off. Right point, Pejos. Left point, Wurst. Over to Pejos again. In the high slot, Wurst, Pejos, over to the left circle, Hunter Hansen. Up top for Wyatt Wurst. He'll throw it over to the right wing side. The pass from Pejos hits the skate of Nickerson. Now Pejos gets it back, right point, Gunderson, high slot, Wyatt Wurst. Right circle, down low, centering pass. Good puck movement by the Saints. But the pass goes underneath the stick and comes back to the neutral zone. Yellow Jackets will change killers here as St. Scholastica will regroup. Gunderson on the left wing, drops it off, comes back down the boards. Behind the net, Tyler Ryder feeds it for Ishmael on the right wing. He'll wrap it back around to the left side. Wasn't a great hop for the Yellow Jackets, and then Pejos with some good hand-eye to knock that out of the air and hold the zone. Wyatt Wurst up top, feeds it down low. On the doorstep, the shot and a great save by Kobe Grant. as he denies Jan Uvis-Jarvi. Stumbled over it again. These Finnish names are killing me this year. Wyatt Worse now with under a minute left in the power play. Gives it to Panzer on the right wing. He comes into the Yellow Jacket zone and fires. That's going to get blocked. Andrew Larson there, and he'll send that all the way down the ice.
Yeah, it's tough. You're not getting any root, like Curries or Jarkko Ruutu or none of the easy ones.
No, there's a lot of syllables in these last names, man. A lot of them here. Panzer for St. Scholastica in his own zone. 25 seconds left in the power play. Junker comes from behind his net, slides it on the left side for Panzer, who crosses the Yellow Jacket line with speed. Panzer poke checked by Evan Axel. The puck comes loose. It's picked up momentarily by Yermolnik, but he can't clear the zone. Now it comes up to the left point. Junker pulls it over, fires it for McCarthy, right circle. Back up top for Junker. Over to the left circle for Panzer. He changes the angle and shoots, but it hits a teammate in front. Now behind the net, Axel able to get it free, and he's going to send that all the way down the ice. Edstrom's going to come out and play it. Penalized player back on. So the Jackets have killed it off here in the late stages of the first period. Danziger inside his own blue line. Feeds that one over to the left side. Ryder. Rink ride on the right for Lucier. He couldn't handle that pass. And the Saints will come back the other direction. Coming across the line, takes the shot. The save made by Grant, and then he'll drop down and cover the rebound. And we'll get a face-off with 1:22 remaining here in this first period.
Now you've got me thinking about all-time players hailing from Finland that played men's or women's hockey here at UWS. trying to think of the easiest last names. I've got one in mind.
There aren't that many. I mean, we got Rupe. We have, that's going to be icing on the Yellow Jackets. We had Jerry Mietinen.
Okay. Did Jenny Venho play on the women's team here at one point after her time at UNB?
Man.
That's going back a ways.
That's a long time ago, man.
Early 2000s.
That's a long time ago. The Yellow Jackets had, on the men's side, had one more in the 80s, but I'm drawing a blank on the name. I'd have to look that one up during the break.
Good. I mean, we went 2 or 3 deep. That's not too bad.
There haven't been many. There have not been many. We've had more Swedes than we've had Finns. A few more Czechs and Slovaks as well. Lucier on the right wing gets flattened as he makes the cross-ice pass, and it's played back out into the neutral zone with under a minute to go here in this first period. Danziger, his pass picked up by Dauphiné, who loses it. Then he gets it back. He comes across the line. Dauphiné now curls away from the checker, has it in the right circle. Dauphiné carries it deep. Tried to center that one for Cade Shea, but he was tied up. Now behind the net, excuse me, it's centered into the high slot. Bergstrom gives it to Danziger, and he scores! Danziger ripping the one-timer from the blue line, and it's 2-0.
Good shot from the point. Like we talked about, the importance of getting those shots through. Danziger did that there, and also had Dauphiné posted up out front. I'm not sure the goaltender ever really saw that one for Scholastica.
Time of that goal, 19:25. Danziger's third. Bergstrom will get one helper. I'm thinking the other one might be Cade Shea, but I don't know for sure. We'll wait for the announcement courtesy of Ryan Castaneda. At any rate, a big goal in the final minute of the period, and the Jackets are up a pair. Pejos for St. Scholastica gets poke-checked at the Yellow Jacket line.
Yellow Jackets was number 5, Matt Danziger. He was assisted by number 6, Dusty Bergstrom. That's Danziger.
So they'll go only one assist deep on that one. Puck in the Yellow Jacket zone, 15 seconds to go. Carson Riddle will flip that high in the air to neutral ice. Bouncing puck batted out of the air by Tuo Mioksa. St. Scholastica recovering, however, and is carried to center. Hunter Hansen across the Yellow Jacket line. Winds and fires from the right circle. And Grant makes the save, catching that one up high. Keeping it out of the net, and the Yellow Jackets will go to the locker room up a pair after one. So
that's good first period.
One period does not a hockey game make, Jason, but at the end of the day, I think that's exactly the period this team needed after what happened last night.
Yeah, definitely the start you wanted, getting that all-important first goal, and then adding to it with one of those devastating late goals. Just really couldn't have been a better script for UWS in this one.
2-0 Yellow Jackets after one. We'll take a timeout when we come back during our first intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated. We will have the latest installment of Where Are They Now? When we catch up with former Yellow Jacket sharpshooter Troy York. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports.
It's our first intermission here on Saturday night, and as always, our first intermission is sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, and it is time for our latest installment of Where Are They Now? A time for us to catch up with some of the Yellow Jackets of the past, and it's my pleasure to be joined this week by former Yellow Jacket sniper Troy York. And Troy, I like to start all these off the same way. Give us an idea of where is Troy York now?
Troy York is in Texas. I'm north of Dallas. Working and coaching and enjoying life down here in the 65-degree November weather. So,
on the day that we are recording this, we are in the low 50s today, which is very unseasonable for November in Superior, Wisconsin. So it's not much of a flex today on how good the weather is down there. But I know most days, yes, in November, your weather does get the nod over what we have going up here. So. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what are you doing here? What's your career look like now?
So I'm a real estate appraiser. I work for my dad, my uncle. They own a company down here. They've owned it for a while. So I've been doing that for a few years, enjoying that. The original plan was to do that and rehab because I got injured in my last game there against, was it Stout, I think?
It was, yes.
But yeah, did that and then wanted to rehab, wanted to get back, wanted to come back and like either play college or just go to pro somewhere. It kind of fell through. Not a bad decision, I'd say. I started coaching. I enjoy coaching a lot. So I'm coaching a high school team, and then I'm coaching with the Dallas Stars Elite program that I actually played for growing up, the 18 and under team. So I get to help those guys out now, try and get to their college and junior careers. It's pretty cool.
Let's jump back into coaching here in a moment, but first, let's talk a little bit about the real estate appraisal business. And is that something that you kind of had your eye on for a while? I mean, being it is in essence the family business, or is it something that later on you kind of decided, this could be a good path for me?
I think it was more later on I decided this would be a great path just because it was something I could fall back on. I could always learn from my dad. I get to spend however many days a week with my dad. I get to work with my dad and talk to him all the time, which is great. But no, I definitely wanted to play hockey. I wanted to continue going. I wanted to figure it out, but I knew I had done the ACL surgery before. I think it was sophomore year. And then I knew going into it that it was worse and it was going to be a lot longer. And I didn't know if I wanted to fully commit, and I kind of just fell out of it and wanted to coach instead and do that route for hockey. And I just picked up the real estate gig just because it was easy. And at that time and COVID and all that stuff, jobs were slim picking. So
what exactly then does it entail? Is this sort of like with the municipality and you're doing assessment on properties? Is this I'm looking to sell my house and you're going to appraise it for me? What does it all entail?
Exactly. It's a lot of it's actually something I never thought I was going to do, but inspecting properties, it's a lot of research. It's evaluating your house. You're going to sell your house. You need an appraisal on it to tell you what it's worth and what someone would be willing to pay for it, I guess. And then I come in and that's what I do. That's what me and my dad do. So it's fun. It pays the bills, so.
What's one of the, if you could give us one just like unique situation or unique appraisal that you have had?
Oh man. You just never know what you're walking into, right?
Right.
You never know how people live, and that's cool. And everyone has their own way of living. And I walked in one time, there was no carpet, holes in the wall, cats running around. I think there was, droppings and other things on the floor, and it was just a mess. So that, you get a couple of those every once in a while, but not all the time, which is pretty nice. But that's definitely a rare one that you don't want to see, I'd say.
Yeah, I would think that wouldn't be the most pleasant experience, and obviously kind of difficult to sell a home when it's in that kind of condition.
Yeah, I've never had anything too crazy. Now, my dad has definitely had some different experiences. He's been in the business for 40 years now, and he's seen a lot. People living in the house when it's supposed to be vacant, stuff like that. So there can be crazy times, but for the most part, it's pretty relaxed.
Let's talk about the coaching life then. It's something that you mentioned you kind of wanted to get into when your playing career was over. And what levels are you coaching right now?
So I'm coaching the Stars Elite, and that's the 18 and under team. And it's actually great because I played there for the same guy that's coaching it now. His name's Adam Robbins, and he was a great coach for me. But then the other guy that I'm coaching with, and it's a household name up in Wisconsin, or it should be, Craig Ludwig. And so I get to coach with him, and he's awesome. It's great, learning from him and talking to him about, him playing in the NHL and the cup runs that he went on and all that kind of stuff. So that part's pretty cool for Stars Elite, and the travel obviously is great. And then I also do JV and varsity for this town called Keller in it's west of Dallas near Fort Worth, kind of north of Fort Worth. It's a great little spot. I just took over the varsity team this year. We're not doing very well. We're kind of in a rebuilding year. My JV team, we're doing great. Lost a tough one yesterday, but we'll bounce back after this break and get a nice win.
So I'm sensing that coaching is something that's going to be long term with you.
Oh, I'd love to. I keep imagining that with all the money and everything that some of these schools have down here in Texas and then in the South, there's gonna have to be more college hockey, and why not have some down here? You see ASU, they're doing great.
Yep.
I could just see a town A&M, Texas, SMU. They got a lot of money there. TCU. Some of these schools they could do some damage, I think, with NIL and all that now, especially. Football is massive here, so you got that pull, that money a little bit.
Right.
But I'd love to coach college. I'd love to make it to the pros in coaching if I could one day. We'll see. You know, gotta start somewhere. I've been coaching for I think 5 years now, so I've been doing the more chill, relaxed route because I've got the, you know, job here with the real estate stuff. But if I could find something that piques my interest and, you know, gets me over the hump, I'd be interested in taking over somewhere.
Let's talk a little bit about your playing career as well. You started your college career at RP, obviously playing in the Division I ranks, and then you ended up transferring here for the remainder of your college career. And what went into that decision to transfer and ultimately end up in Superior?
I visited when I was supposed to be going home I went home for Christmas at RPI. I knew I wasn't going back there. And I came and visited. I knew Andrew Durham, one of the guys on the team at the time. Came, just kind of loved the facility, loved how it was. We had our own little isolated spot. You had your gym right there. You could just go in there whenever you needed. You could get on the ice kind of whenever you wanted. I'm sure it's like that at a lot of spots. But what really sold me was Coach McKenna. Just like, you know, he's a player's coach. He loves the guys. You know, I really liked his message. I really liked what he was trying to build at the time. I mean, at the time I came in, I don't think we were as successful as when I left, which was, you know, our plan and my plan with, you know, Coach when I was sitting down having a meeting with him was, you know, we want to build it into a championship level team. And I think we did that by the end of my career, which was great. And, you know, you see where they're at now, like getting a bunch of high-end junior talent guys and all that. And I love to see it. So I tuned in and, you know, enjoy watching. But yeah, I just thought it was going to be a good spot for me. I knew someone on the team. I didn't really have to start over. And yeah, I knew I wanted to play in a good division too. And if I wasn't at, you know, Adrian or St. Norbert or one of those schools, I wanted to be somewhere where I could grow it and, you know, just kind of start my own little journey and path and, you know, figure it out with what we had and go from there.
Was it bittersweet for you? Because at the very end, like you mentioned, you got hurt and didn't have the opportunity to play in that championship game?
Yeah, a little bit. That was tough. I thought about that the other day. It was definitely a, you know, gut-wrenching experience to not get to play. I always wanted to be out there. But yeah, it was great to see the boys get it done. You know, championship team. I still talk to some of those guys on that team, which is great. I'm playing roller hockey now instead of ice hockey. So I play with Chad Lopez. So me and Chad are back hanging out in Texas. He's back here. He's doing well. So it's good to see him again.
How has I guess two questions. Number one, have your knees held up playing roller hockey? And two, what are some of the differences between being on ice and playing roller hockey, aside from the surface that you're playing on?
Oh yeah, it's so much different. The puck is so much lighter. It's incredible. You can really zip that thing if you want to. It's 4-on-4, so I really like that. It's a little less intense, I'd say. There's no icings or offsides, so you can cherry pick, you can do whatever. It's more skill based rather than, you know, let's dump it in. We want to keep control and that thing. But as for being on ice and roller skates, I honestly think I wasn't a very good ice skater. I didn't think I could shoot the puck, but I wasn't a very good skater. I think it's harder to rollerblade than it is to ice skate. Like when you're playing at a like fast pace and everything, like the stopping and the turning, it can be a little challenging. But I love it. It's super fun. It's a switch up. It's a different vibe, but I live in Dallas, so it's cheaper than ice hockey. That's for sure.
And that is former Yellow Jacket forward Troy York, who is, if you again go back over the years here, not too many guys could fire the biscuit the way that Troy York could. When he got a hold of that thing, it was a laser.
There's definitely room for that sort of player. I mean, especially you see it on a power play. It just, you don't have to be a Blazer. If you can hammer it, you can help. You can find a role.
And he said, I could shoot the puck, but I couldn't skate very well. And that was the truth. That's the kind of player that Troy was when he was here. So good to have him for 3 years and then see him light the lamp a number of times. And Glad that he's doing well down in his home state of Texas. Both teams back on the ice here for the start of period number 2. Yellow Jackets with the 2-0 lead. Rupe Tuomioksa's 4th of the year at 7:38 made it a 1-0 game. Matthew Danzinger's 3rd of the year at 19:25, giving the Jackets the 2-goal lead. And we had a chance to, during the break, watch the replay of the 2 goals that were scored, and I took the headset off and said, Rupe's goal was even prettier than I first thought because of the way he stopped it with the skate, and then the hands got moving really quick. That goaltender didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, I think he actually caught the pass on the right instep, kicked it up to his blade, and went forehand to backhand real fast and made a great shot, all in tight. That was a heck of a play.
Also had a chance to do some research on Finnish players who played for the Yellow Jackets here. And, Jani Karstu was one from Helsinki back in the 1980s. I think he was only here for 1 year. But then you had Jani Hassi, who came as a transfer from UMD. He was an exchange student who played at Superior High School. And then he played his junior hockey with the old Northland Voyagers and went to UMD as a walk-on, and then transferred over to UW Superior, played 3 years here, 95 to 94, 5, 95, 96, 96, 97. So 3 Final Fours for him, and he was an All-American in 2 of those years as well. Then went on to be a very good high school hockey coach down at Burnsville and in Lakeville. And at that time, though, he wasn't going by Hassi anymore. He was going by his given name of Kivi Halme. So Jani Kivihalme, and at one time he was Jani Hassi Kivihalme. So
that was a lot on the back of a jersey.
Yeah, it really was. So, and then his son Timu played Division I at Colorado College and was also was drafted by the Nashville Predators. I believe he was a second-round draft pick too. So something happening here. St. Scholastica has a penalty to start the period. I'm wondering if they got nicked for coming on the ice early.
Oh wow.
I wonder if this is like one of those administrative technical fouls you can get in basketball if your shot clock or your backboard lights don't work on one end of the court. I've been on the receiving end of that one before, too. So the Yellow Jackets will start the second period on the power play, it appears. A lot of discussion at the St. Scholastica bench. And there is a penalty on the board being served by number 14 of St. Scholastica.
A.J. Reed just asked the officials to come down and examine Kobe Grant's goal.
And they're going to do some housework there as well. So the Yellow Jackets, it appears, will start period number 2 with the man advantage. And I don't know if that's a good thing, because anybody who's followed this over the course of this early campaign comes to realize that the power play at one point was at 30% and currently is sitting at 10% and hasn't scored since that St. Olaf game on November 8th. So they are 0 for their last 21 with the power play. And that's been kind of a mixed bag, too, because you've had those power plays where they live in the offensive zone for the full 2 minutes. They change lines twice, and they don't have anything to show for it. And then the flip side of it is you have those power plays where they barely get into the offensive zone. And, the big thing with a power play, you start with a face-off, and the Jackets are not a very good face-off team, so they generally end up having to chase the game a little bit when it comes to that power play and losing that first 20 seconds. St. Scholastica drives that face-off forward, the puck all the way down in the Yellow Jacket zone.
Scholastica was assessed a bench minor for protocol violation. Serving the bench minor is number 14, Declan Young.
So there we go. It's a protocol violation, meaning they came on the ice before the home team, and you can't do that. So the first power play of the game underway for the Yellow Jackets. Power play sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Clean, reliable, Superior. That's SWLP. That's the first time I've had a protocol violation penalty.
We were wondering what team was going to be ready to play. Well, Scholastica certainly was to start the second period. They were a little too ready.
I hear protocol, and I think of that great song by the late Gordon Lightfoot. At the left point now, it's Ryder for the Jackets. Gives it to Gibbs in the left circle. Back to Ryder in the high slot. Yarmolnik loads it up and fires and misses high. Behind the net, Gibbs battling for possession. It comes up to their left point. Yarmolnik's got it. Gives to Ryder at the right point. Carson Riddle in the right wing corner. Back up top for Ryder. A minute gone in the power play. Riddle takes the shot in the right circle. It gets blocked. Yarmolnik picks up the loose puck. Slides it over to the left corner for Gibbs. Up top now, this is A.J. Reed. Back down low. Left wing corner, Yarmolnik. Up the left board, Reed lets it go. Gibbs has it at the left point, and then he puts it right on the tape of Pejos, who sidesteps the check, and it's a shorthanded 3-on-1 for the Saints. Pejos feeds it across as he had Panzer going to the net, or check that is coming going to the net. And that one doesn't connect. Puck comes all the way back out. Now the Saints will drive it all the way back down the ice again, and the Yellow Jackets will be forced to regroup. Behind the goal, Tyler Ryder has it here. 20 seconds left in the power play. Ryder from behind his net gives it ahead on the right wing side for Gibbs. He pokes it deep in the right wing corner now. Dauphiné spins around and centers. It's out of the reach of Ishmael. Puck comes back down into the left wing corner. Saints are going to wire that one all the way down the ice. Declan Young, who was serving the minor, comes out of the box. Yellow Jackets 0 for 1 on the power play. And we remain at 2-0 now in the neutral zone. And we got a penalty coming on the Yellow Jackets as Daniel Kroon got absolutely drilled by Evan Axel. And it's going to be a power play for the Saints.
I'd have to see this again, but not in love with the call there. Calling it a cross-check. Evan Axel was just defending himself. The player came to initiate a hit on him. Maybe, but I tip my hat to Axel. That was just a rock-solid player that somebody decided to try to initiate contact, and that player lost.
It was a little behind the play, so I was following the puck forward. I heard the reaction to it. At any rate, second power play for the Saints. Pejos whiffs on the shot in the right circle. Saints regaining control now. Pejos at the right point. Sends it over to Hunter Hansen, left wing side. Up top for Wyatt Wurst. Back over now. A shot by Pejos from the right circle. The save is made, and the Yellow Jackets will send that one all the way down the ice. Edstrom flips the hand over and sends a saucer pass up the right wing. Hunter Hansen will dump that one into the Yellow Jacket zone. Roosevelt is going to recover the puck, and he'll carry it out into the neutral zone before sending a backhand up the right wing boards and all the way down. From behind the goal here, Wurst to Pejos on the right wing. He sends it hard around the boards. Roosevelt on the right wing couldn't get a stick on that. Wurst holds it in left point, gives to Pejos, and he scores. Evan Pejos with the power play goal, snaps it from the right circle past Kobe Grant on the glove side. And the Saints are on the board.
Pejos, a righty shot, shooting from the circle to the left of Kobe Grant, so that means his stick is to the outside. Not the most threatening angle for the stick, but boy, a great wrist shot there, beating Grant short side to cut this lead in half.
3:05 the time of that goal. Evan Pejos his first. Wyatt Wurst will get one of the assists. I will see on the second one, but he absolutely wired that one from the circle past Grant on the short side. I don't know if Kobe didn't get across as powerfully as he thought, but it's typically not a spot where you're going to beat a guy short side. Cade Shea on the left wing in his own zone trying to clear. That one doesn't leave. Now it's in the right wing corner. Centering feed out front. And that shot from McCarthy goes over the top of the net. Saints buzzing here to start the second period. McCarthy top of the right circle now. Jackets able to break that one up, and Austin Paul gets it out into the neutral zone.
Goal for St. Scholastica is number 72, Evan Pejos. He receives assist by number 4, Wyatt Wurst, and number 19, Jan Juvis Järvi.
Juvis Järvi getting the second assist on that goal as the Saints cut the Yellow Jacket lead in half, and now 4 consecutive games where the Yellow Jackets have surrendered a goal to the opponent on the power play. At center, it's Liam Whitehouse for the Yellow Jackets. He gets the red line and backhands it into the Saints zone. Hahn picks it up, and he will start St. Scholastica back the other way. Pass up the right wing for Hunter Hansen, who gets a stick on it and plays it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Puck comes around behind the net to the left wing corner. Jackets to clear, that doesn't leave. Now a centering pass out front for Hansen. He gets tied up on the play. The Yellow Jackets try to clear but can't. Defenseman fell down, got back up, and still won the race to the puck. And now finally the Yellow Jackets are able to play it the other way. But Yellow Järvi was able with that long reach to break it up, and the Saints come back on the attack. Hunter Hansen, right circle, shot, save made by Grant. He'll hold on. And we're going to get a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone. 15:26 remaining here in this second period. Yellow Jackets with a 2-1 lead, but they have not looked like the same team in this second period, Jason.
First 4.5 minutes have really highlighted the importance of special teams play. Yellow Jackets have a chance to come out and score on the power play and probably put this game away. Instead, they don't. Power play goes to the Saints. They do, and now it's a dogfight.
In the Yellow Jacket zone, Bergstrom works it up the left wing boards out to center. Saints will regain control. This is coming inside his own line. Over to Riley Giroux, left wing. Rink wide feet on the right, Kimball. Stepping up, Bergstrom breaks up the play now, and Riddle back the other way. Riddle in the left circle. Takes a sharp angle shot that goes high and wide. Axel gets a stick on it momentarily, but the Saints come back the other way across the Yellow Jacket line from the left wing. Rielts has his shot blocked. Rielts gets it back, left wing corner. Kenan Rielts gives it to Cumming in the left circle. Now that puck ends up behind the Yellow Jacket net. In the high slot, puck worked over now, left circle, a shot save made. Grant, rebound is there. Everybody crashing into the blue paint, and the puck ends up behind the net. Now it comes back up top. Pejos dishes, fires, and that one's going to miss high as Cumming tried to go high. Puck comes back up to the line the other way. Jackets have a 3-on-1 if they hurry. Tuo Mioksa had it on the left wing, but Pejos gambles and sprawls out, able to break up that 3-on-1 rush. Boy, that was a risky job there on a 3-on-1, and he attacked Tuo Mioksa and was able to force the turnover. Puck comes back down in the Yellow Jacket zone. Danziger circling behind his net. He starts up the right wing, crosses the red line, and plays it in. Comes hard around the boards, and the Saints are going to get it right back out to neutral as Kroon feeds Emmett Wurst, and he dumps it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Behind the net now. It's controlled by the Jackets on the right wing side. Danziger up to Lucier, to Dauphiné. Now ahead for Andrew Larson, who's got a step. Larson goes to the backhand. Edstrom makes the save as Larson had a defenseman pursuing him very quickly. Pulled it to the backhand, but Edstrom was there to make the stop. Now back the other way comes St. Scholastica. Kroon turns it over at center. Lucier on the right wing crosses the Saints line. His centering pass picked off. Emmett Wurst has it here, and he'll send the Saints back the other way 2-on-2. Pejos across the line, cuts it to the middle, drops it off. Shot taken from the left circle. And the save is going to be made by Kobe Grant. He'll drop down and cover as Ty Kennett took that shot and went up high. And I'm wondering if that's kind of the edict here, is go up high on Grant, because we've seen a lot of pucks going high around his shoulders today.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Right at the end of the first period, we saw that high riser just before the buzzer. And now another high shot there, taking a lot of pucks off the shoulders.
Roosevelt for the Yellow Jackets has it on the left wing. He'll flip that down into the St. Scholastica zone. Junker there first. He'll quickly play it around the right wing boards. Jared Scott now into the middle for Panzer, who picks up speed. Panzer on the left wing crosses the Yellow Jacket line. Panzer centering feet out front. The one-timer by McCarthy gets blocked. Puck back behind the Yellow Jacket net. Scott's got it again. That one poked off his stick by Gibbs. Jordan Gibbs for the Jackets tried to move it around the boards but couldn't. Now Nickerson's got it, and he'll pick it off the wall to center. Puck hops over the stick of Daniel Roosevelt, so Hahn will chase it down. Hahn now pressured along the end board by Roosevelt, who comes out with the puck. Roosevelt behind the St. Scholastica net. Spins from a check. That's going to be a penalty. You can't grab onto the jersey, Braden Junker. It's going to be a Yellow Jacket power play. Then he hammers him from behind, and play is going to finally be halted. Give him 2 for that. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, pretty blatant check from behind after already receiving what I assume will be a holding penalty.
It has to be, because you can't grab the jersey. I mean, that's definitely a PI. But that should be 2. They're not going to give them 2.
Wow.
And I guess you get free license when you already have the delayed penalty on you to just do whatever you want, because they only called the first one. At any rate,
why the face-off at center ice right now?
I have no idea.
Huh. All right, well, this power play is going to start with a center ice face-off.
And this power play is sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Clean, reliable, Superior. That's SWLP. The Saints win it and send it the distance. And the Yellow Jackets will have to go 200 feet, or 197 feet, I guess, in this building. Riddle on the left wing. Ahead for A.J. Reed across the St. Scholastica line. Reed taken into the end boards. Clearing attempt held in at the left point. Ryder over to the right point. Gibbs feeds it now for Reed on the right wing. He's tied up by Riley Giroux. Puck is in the skates of A.J. Reed. Giroux is in there. Wyatt Wurst in there. Gibbs battling away for it, and it comes free to the right point. Ryder walks it out, gives it back to Reed, right circle, takes the shot, save made by Edstrom. Rebound played up the boards now, and shorthanded. 2-on-1 for St. Scholastica. Pejos, right circle, slides that one across for Giroux, but the pass is just out of his reach. Now the puck back up the slot. Wyatt Worst a shot, and the save is made. Penalty coming on the Yellow Jackets. Late penalty call, too. It took a while for that referee's arm to get in the air, but they finally do make the call. And it's going to be 4-on-4 here for a bit before the Saints get a power play.
Tripping on Yarmolnik, the call here.
So the power play going by the boards, and the crispness of the first period has now been replaced by some sloppiness.
Yes, it has. And as we mentioned a few minutes ago, a much more inspired St. Scholastica effort here in the second period after killing off that initial penalty and then getting the goal. Looks like a different Saints team now. Long delay here as the officials sort this one out. Not entirely sure what there is to sort out.
Oh, they gave him a double.
Ah.
Okay.
Well, you wanted two penalties on one play.
I did, and now I got it
a couple minutes later.
Careful what I wish for, apparently. So I'm not sure what the second call is going to be. But at any rate, we'll be 4-on-4 for 56 seconds, and then the Saints will have 3 minutes and 4 seconds of power play time or less, depending on how all of this unfolds. So, tripping is one call. I'm not sure what the second one will be, but I'm sure we will find out in very short order. 4-on-4 for 56 seconds. Face off to the right of Kobe Grant. Saints win the draw. It goes right to the opening where the other defenseman would be, and Roosevelt skates up to pick it up. Roosevelt left side. Feeds it down to the left wing corner. Bergstrom couldn't get a stick on that, and it's going to be wrapped around.
Alexei Yarmolnik, he receives 2 minutes for tripping and 2 minutes for checking from behind.
Interesting, okay. So really, I mean, it's the exact call we wanted, just to go in the other direction, apparently.
We saw the future.
Yes. I'm going to add that to my resume. Can see the future. In the neutral zone now, Wyatt Worst turning it over. Ishmael had it for a moment, then lost it. Now Pejos is going to send it back the other way. Hunter Hansen, rink-wide feed onto the left wing. Wyatt Worst feeds it to the front of the net. Looking for man, that's tripping me up. Uvis Yarvi going to the net. Puck is behind the Yellow Jacket net right now. Final seconds are going to tick off the penalty. And as of right now, St. Scholastica is on the power play. Flipped down into the Yellow Jacket zone. 3 minutes left. It's two separate power plays here, so it's not like a major where you score as many as you want. As they come into the Yellow Jacket zone, it's Kimball on the left wing. Danziger watches him and staples him to the wall. Now it's going to be picked up by Ryder. His pass hits a skate. Jackets Danziger able to recover, and he'll pitchfork that backhand all the way down the ice. Edstrom coming out, and he'll set it up. This is Junker coming from behind the goal now. Junker for Scott on the right wing. He comes off the wall into the middle. Now back to the right side for Panzer, and he's going to send it deep. Puck comes behind the Yellow Jacket net. Danziger picking it up there as we pass the 10-minute mark of this second period. 2-1 the Yellow Jackets leading. Junker left point walks it off the wall. McCarthy right circle. Fires and scores. Another power play goal for the Saints. And we're tied. 10-10 the time.
Looks like another one high to the short side as well. That's the first career goal for freshman Luke McCarthy from Cottage Grove, Minnesota. Did not shoot it like a guy who hadn't scored yet. It's a heck of a wrist shot.
Yeah, he picked that top corner. That's two shots from the exact same spot, beating Kobe Grant in the exact same spot. So that is the book, apparently. So now the first penalty comes off the board, and the Saints have another power play here. This will be their fourth. And the special teams battle is killing the Yellow Jackets right now. Not just today. I mean, that's been that way now for a chunk of the season. The special teams battle is a tricky one for this club.
McCarthy, he got an assist for number 12, Braden Junker. That's McCarthy.
Junker with the lone helper on the power play goal. Both Saints goals coming with the man advantage, and they are in the offensive zone once again. Puck comes free. Andrew Larson pokes it past Worst now, and he'll carry up the right side. Larson pulls up on the right half board, throws it across to the left side. Bergstrom with the shot, left circle, it misses wide. Karam comes up the left wing boards. Jackets cause the turnover. It's Cade Shea now. Shea on the right wing board. Tied up along the wall by Gunderson. In to help out is Uvis Yarvi. Got it right that time. It's finally worked free. Shea's going to peel off for the change. Wyatt Worst has it here now for St. Scholastica, who has scored twice on the power play here in the second, and this game is tied. Gunderson across the Yellow Jacket line. Gives to Pejos a shot. Save made by Grant. Gunderson again. Sends it up top for Worst. Top of the right circle, Pejos. Loads it up and fires. That's blocked by Gibbs. Wyatt Worst now. His pass is broken up. Gunderson has shots, and that one is deflected over the top of the net. Saints now have the edge in shots on goal at 13-12, meaning 8-1 here in this second period. So the second period bugaboo is back for this Yellow Jacket club. Again, a completely different team than it was in the first 20 minutes. At center, Panzer. Dishing it off for Scott with speed on the right wing. He takes the shot. Grant the save. No rebound. And we'll get a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone. 17 seconds left in the second minor penalty to Alexei Yermolnik. 8:07 remaining second period. We're tied at 2.
Saints playing with a lot of confidence now.
And the Yellow Jackets seem to be hobbled.
Yeah, basically just a complete flip script from the first period in this one.
McCarthy in the right circle, gives it down to Scott right side of the net. Out front, the one-timer blocked, and the Jackets come back shorthanded the other way. Up the right wing, it's Dauphiné. Right circle, takes the shot. Edstrom the save. Rebound is there. They dig away. Out for Danziger. He hit the post. Danziger with a rocket from the right circle that rings the iron. That's 2 times the Jackets have rung the bell. Now a sharp angle shot from the left side by Danziger, and Edstrom makes the save. He's going to hold on. And we'll get a face-off here in the St. Scholastica zone. Penalized player is back on, so St. Scholastica now 2 for 4 on the power play. And they have drawn even. And that gives us an opportunity to remind you that if you can't get enough of the Yellow Jackets, tune in to Eye of the Swarm, the official podcast of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Join the big sound Matt Johnson and me throughout the year as we sit down with Yellow Jacket student-athletes, coaches, and other guests. Eye of the Swarm is available at uwsyellowjackets.com/podcast, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Your Finnish favorite name today is having a great day in the face-off circle. Just looking over some of the relevant statistics in this one, he's 9 for 12 in the dot so far.
Yeah, Saints have won 16 draws to 10 for the Yellow Jackets, and again, shots on goal. 11-5 at the break are now 15-14 St. Scholastica. So 10-2 here in this second period, not counting the post that Danziger just hit.
Yeah, good to see UWS get a scoring chance there. It had been a while, and they were able to generate a couple right at the end of that last sequence. Maybe they can build on it and win a shift here now back at even strength 5-on-5.
Face-off will be to the right of Edstrom with 7:41 to play in what has been a not too entertaining second period for the Yellow Jackets. On the left wing boards, it's Dauphiné. He throws it toward the front of the net. Hahn breaks that up for St. Scholastica and starts it the other direction with Kroon. Kroon dumps it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Mishandled at the right side, of the left side of the net, and then Grant is going to be forced to drop down and cover, because that could have got messy in a hurry.
Now a defensive zone face-off to Grant's right. Looks like Cumming will be taking the draw on this one.
Cumming against Dauphiné, a pair of number 10s. To the right of Kobe Grant, the St. Scholastica number 10 wins it. Junker with a shot, save Grant, big rebound there. Dusty Bergstrom able to corral the loose puck, and he'll start that one ahead to center now. Head-high pass knocked out of the air with the glove by Lucier. Jackets following the play, they dump it in.
I hope Lucier's hand's okay.
Yeah, it was a rocket right into the glove, and there's no padding in the palm.
You can see
he's hurting.
Right
that
now.
Stung a little bit.
It's one of those plays where you just react as a hockey player because it's what you have to do to make the play is catch that thing.
Yep.
But I mean, that was like neck high and sizzling.
Face-off is going to be outside the St. Scholastica blue line. They win the draw again. Junker floats it into the Yellow Jackets zone. Jordan Gibbs has it here. Gibbs for the Yellow Jackets now. Drops it for Whitehouse. Up the middle for Austin Paul, who dumps it in. Ishmael on the left wing. Tried to center. He fans on the pass. Along the end boards now. Behind the net, Cade Shea loses the puck. Shea battling for it. Left wing corner. Puck comes up to the left point. Gibbs pokes it back down the boards. Emmett Worst is going to take a backhand and flip that out to neutral ice. Yellow Jackets will pursue the loose puck. Whitehouse gets there and wraps it around the boards. Now Gibbs on the left wing corner coughs it up. Declan Young has it, and we get a stoppage in play. And a tripping call is coming. And it appears this one is going to be assessed to the Saints. Emmett Worst making his way to the sin bin.
Yet another opportunity for this UWS power play. Be interesting to see if they come out with a little different look here.
Third power play of the afternoon for the Yellow Jackets. The power play sponsored by Superior Water, Light and Power. Clean, reliable, Superior. The Yellow Jackets 0 for 2 so far with the man advantage. And at some point, this power play need to click. They start by winning the faceoff at the left point. Axel tries to force a pass through Hunter Hansen, and he'll take off the other way shorthanded. Hansen feeds that one across, looking for Cumming, but it was out of his reach. Cumming taken into the boards. The puck worked free. Roosevelt slows it down, then has his pocket picked by Hunter Hansen, who plays it back into the neutral zone. Pejos risks that one all the way down over the top of the net. Bergstrom has it here for the Yellow Jackets as we pass the 14-minute mark of the second period. Yellow Jackets and St. Scholastica tied at 2. Bergstrom turning it over with a bad pass. Regains control and works it up the left wing. Now Dauphiné will curl it back. 40 seconds gone in the power play, and the only time the Jackets were in the O zone was for the faceoff. In the left wing corner here, this is Roosevelt now. Backhand pass up to the left point, Bergstrom. Over to the right point. Ryder. He'll spin away from the checker. Ryder down into the right wing corner. Back up to Ishmael, right point. Over to the left point, Bergstrom. Ishmael, one-timer, gets through, and the save is made by Edstrom. He'll hang on. Daniel Roosevelt on the doorstep looking for the loose change.
Good simple play there. Getting a shot from the point with a little traffic out front. Unfortunately, there was no rebound to be had, but a good look for the Yellow Jackets.
Riddle in to take the draw here for the Yellow Jackets, but the Saints win it. Reed able to recover the puck in the right corner. His pass goes off the skate of Ryder at the right point. Reed now over for Jordan Gibbs. Left circle. Tried to pay a backhand to the front of the net, but that doesn't go. Now it comes loose to the front of the St. Scholastica net. Their clearing attempt held in. Ryder left point. Carries it down the boards. Ryder now behind the net. Fans on the pass and gets it back. Ryder on the right half board to Riddle. Carson Riddle back to Ryder in the right wing corner. Riddle in the right corner now. Up top right point Ryder. 20 left in the power play. Riddle fires and scores! The power play finally getting off the schneid. Carson Riddle, top shelf. And the Jackets back in front.
Nice to see Riddle get one there. He's been a prominent player in this one tonight. You could almost see the relief in his celebration after that puck found the twine.
Well, you could feel pressure and tension just kind of evaporate here for a minute. So hopefully this is what everybody needs. A power play goal can cure all ills, maybe? I don't know. In the neutral zone, Evan Axel flips it in on goal, guided away by Edstrom. Puck cleared up the right wing boards. Giroux for St. Scholastica gets it up to the line, but not out. Axel, right point, fires, glove save Edstrom, and he elects to hold on. And we're going to get a face-off coming here in the St. Scholastica zone. 4:26 to play here in the second period. The Jackets back in front, 3-2.
Looks like it could be another one of those race to 4 type games tonight. That seems to be the magic number so often. There are goals to be had.
Well, that's why on my stat sheet that I create, The magic number is 4.
Right.
Jackets win the face-off. Axel down the right wing board. Carries it along to the corner. Hits the brakes there. Now he's going to spin again.
Jackets was number 15, Carson Riddle. You got assists on that goal by number 18, A.J. Reed. And number 3, Tyler.
So Reed and Ryder get the assists on the goal by Riddle. That power play goal brought to you by the letter R, apparently. Right at the top of the goal crease, Dauphiné battling for a loose puck, but able to drop down and cover that one up. Is Edstrom, and the face-off coming up here once again in the St. Scholastica zone. The Yellow Jackets showing a tad more urgency here in the last couple of minutes. And maybe, just maybe, we've got something to build on here. Shots 20-17 Yellow Jackets, so they have decided to start pumping the puck a little bit more here as well. Danziger at the right point. Stick handles. Fires. That save is made. The rebound there. Jackets try to bank it in at the right side of the net. That was Nickerson, but that doesn't go. Puck comes over to the left wing corner now. It's flipped up the wall by Pejos. Jackets knock it down. Ishmael. Sharp angle shot from the hash marks, and that'll be gloved and held by Edstrom. And why not? Ishmael scores goals from that spot. Seen it multiple times in his career. And I'm of the mind at this point, shoot from everywhere.
Well, and you're facing a small goalie as well, so there are certainly holes to be hit.
Clemenson with a quick shot off the face-off and a stick save made by Edstrom. Now Hunter Hansen for the Saints clears it out. Danziger breaks that one up. He got hooked as he was dumping it in. And the Saints able to get the puck back. Now turnover here, and Clemenson's got it. Clemenson fires and misses up high. The puck is loose behind the St. Scholastica net. They wrap it around the right wing side, and Pejos is going to carry it to center. He flips it down into the Yellow Jacket zone. First one there, Danziger. His pass for Nickerson is broken up. Centering pass out front. Fanning on the shot there was Uvis Yarvi. It comes up to the blue line. Pejos knocked down. Jackets can't clear. And then we're going to get a whistle and a hand pass will be the call. And they got a face-off coming up here. I got an alert on the computer that Teddy's practice is at 4:30, so hopefully he's there and got the blades on, getting ready to go.
Got your assistant coaches back from deer hunting?
We should have a couple today. I haven't gotten a text message going, it's 4:15 and there's no coaches here. So hopefully we have everybody accounted for at Saha today. And the Mite Ones can have another glorious practice because they're back at it at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Puck in the Yellow Jacket zone, right wing corner. Get your first glimpse of the Mite Ones next Friday night, by the way. They'll be playing during the first intermission here as the Jackets play River Falls. Panzer in the left wing corner. He gets crunched. And we're going to get a whistle. Now they're going to call the penalty.
I'm curious.
I'm wondering if they're going to call McCarthy here for coming in.
Because the arm didn't go up immediately.
No, it did not. And so I hope this isn't one of those retroactive penalty calls. Because McCarthy came in right away. And he's having words with Rupe Tuomioksa going to the bench. It is McCarthy going to the box, and now the referees are going to talk, I wonder, about, well, what prompted that. They all know what it could have been.
They are taking Riddle as well, which if the player doesn't go down with a momentary injury, I don't know that it even gets called. Said player was quickly back up and made his way to the bench under his own power.
So I'm assuming roughing one way and
some sort of boarding, checking from behind.
I'm assuming
it was kind of just a rub out. It was not like a high impact hit or anything like that.
I mean, there is nobody in the Yellow Jacket penalty box.
Yeah, Riddle stopped by the penalty door and then just kept going.
And I saw referee Sean Hauser did point at the Superior penalty box here.
Yeah. And Riddle did not leave the ice.
They're lining up as if the faceoff is going to be in the same zone, so I think this is going to be just a power play for the Yellow Jackets.
Riddle was just doing a flyby.
Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full. Fourth power play for the Yellow Jackets. The power play is sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Clean, reliable, Superior. 2.5 minutes to go here in the second. 3-2 Yellow Jackets. Power play 1 for 3. It'd be dandy for them to go to 2 for 4 here. Puck is behind the St. Scholastica net. Pejos has it, and he'll start up the left wing.
Oh.
Goes to clear and rifles that one into the Yellow Jacket bench. And that's going to be a penalty coming up here now. Are they taking one each way, it looks like? Or are they just going to take A.J. Reed? And I did not see what happened.
I didn't either. I was trying to figure out if any of the coaches on the UWS bench got hit by that puck. They all seem to be okay. They're standing upright.
I thought assistant coach Paul Bittner got clipped by that one.
I thought so too.
He did not wince in pain or anything, and A.J. Reed ends up in the penalty box.
Temperature rising a little bit in this one.
Well, the teams know they're not going to see each other anymore, so that power play lasting 8 seconds.
Wow. Wicked slash off the face-off.
2-0 Meoks out of the neutral zone. Has it poked off his stick by Pejos. It's going to be Reed for a slash, so something got under his skin, and he slashed somebody in the neutral zone, and that's why we're playing 4-on-4 right now. At the left point, Ryder walks it to the middle, gives it to the right circle. Danziger takes the shot. Glove save made by Edstrom. He'll hang on.
Frustration there as Rupe was sitting in prime position on the left edge of the goal, hoping to get that pass from Danziger, and that pass never came.
Face off to the left of goaltender Caden Edstrom. With 1:58 to go here in the second period. St. Scholastica controlling the face-off as they have done the bulk of the times today. Pejos is going to carry it up the right wing. Pejos into the Yellow Jacket zone. Pejos down to the corner behind the net now. Throws it in front. It hits a skate. And the Yellow Jackets will regain control here in the 4-on-4. Carried to center by Riddle. He crosses the St. Scholastica line, spins away from the check, sends it across left circle. Axel fires, stick save Edstrom. And that one will go up into the netting. The Jackets getting a little bit of a break there as Gunderson blew a tire on the back check and allowed Riddle some room to make a play.
Axel did a nice job settling that pass down, putting it on goal, rather than just winding up and firing it without settling it down and potentially rimming that puck all the way around and feeding the rush for the Saints going the other way.
4-on-4 for 1:02, and then the Saints will get 8 seconds of power play time. Jackets controlling the draw. Gibbs will carry down the left wing boards and then plays it to the corner. Picks it up himself down there and now gets stapled to the wall. Had an opportunity to take that to the net, I think, and then he threw it into the corner.
Yeah, I was definitely not thinking offense first there.
Junker's got it behind the net for St. Scholastica here. Passes it over to Hahn on the right wing. Now he cuts it to the middle, gives it back to Junker. Back to Hahn. Up the right wing boards for Gunderson, who tips it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Behind the net now, this is Danziger. Danziger, with under a minute to play in the second period, passes it back behind his net. Taken there by Gibbs. His pass hits a skate. Jackets have tried to force some passes like that here in this second period, too. Dauphiné gets lit up and turns it over. Panzer, his pass in the high slot gets blocked. Dauphiné gets it back. Passes it up for Danziger on the left wing. Danziger now carries down to this left corner behind the goal. Puck comes free and Dauphiné has it here. Saints on the power play here for the next 5 seconds. Carrying it down low. Ryder circles from the check. Penalized player back on, so we're 5-on-5. Good job, PK. Kept it in the O-zone the whole time. Long shot by Ishmael catches some traffic in front. McCarthy for St. Scholastica. Sent that up the boards. Ishmael intercepts. Dauphiné behind the goal. Saucers that one out front. It hits some bodies. Now Ryder has it in the right circle. Takes the shot. Edstrom the save. Rebound pops up in the air right in the goal crease. Saints are going to clear that one away from trouble. And now we've got some roughing going on, or rough housing, I should say, going on in the right corner. Lucier and Panzer. And probably a sign of some things to come as this game ventures into the third period.
Well, that turned out to be an interesting second stanza. Not exactly how we predicted it would go. Didn't expect to see St. Scholastica come out and score 2 to even it up. They gave no indications of that kind of comeback being in them the way they played in the first period. But come back they did. And then things looked very perilous for UWS. And the Yellow Jackets were able to respond finally with a power play goal and right the ship on this one.
Yeah, I finally get to stop hammering on the power play unit. And, it's people need to understand it's your job. It's one thing to go 0 for 4. It's one thing to go 0 for 5. And okay, but when you go 3 weeks without a power play goal, it's the old Reg Dunlop. Hey, man, you got to get the power play going. Yeah, we're working on it.
Right.
But that's kind of been the case here. It's just been a really awful stretch for the power play. And finally, they got on the board, and for the first time in a while, you feel a little bit confident in the special teams here.
Right, and they all know it. I mean, they feel the weight of that long streak. They're all players who have scored at levels that they've played at previously, and they know what's supposed to happen on a power play. And it's intensified in situations like this where the other team comes out and scores 2 on the power play, and that was definitely a timely power play goal for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, in more ways than one. It was a very timely power play goal. So 2 periods in the books here at Westman Arena. 3-2 Yellow Jackets. Quick timeout. We'll be back with our second intermission sponsored by Hovland Incorporated right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. And the Yellow Jackets have a 3-2 lead over St. Scholastica after 2 frames in the Consolation Championship game of the 2025 Superior Showdown, sponsored by Subway. Championship game coming your way tonight at 7 o'clock here at Westman Arena. Lawrence University against the University of Dubuque. A couple of conference opponents in the NCHA will be doing battle for the Subway Superior Showdown crown later on tonight. That game will be live on Yellow Jacket TV, but will not be on the airwaves of KUWS. But right now we're more concerned with the game that we have in front of us here, Jason. And here's the... This is, to me, is just a fascinating number, okay? Yellow Jackets outshot St. Scholastica in the second period 16-12. When St. Scholastica scored to tie the game at 10-10 of the second period, the shots in the second period were 11-2.
What a contrast.
The second half of that second period, and honestly, I'm going to get in trouble for this, I know. I didn't think they even played well in the second half of the second period. But somehow in there, they had 14 shots on goal in the final 10 minutes of that period.
Wow.
And it's an amazing contrast of the first 10 to the last 10, because the first 10 were a team that had no interest in even being on the ice for part of that period. The second 10, you started to finally see some of that urgency.
It is remarkable, particularly in a situation like this where these aren't two teams that are not evenly matched. I mean, they're an even match for each other. I mean, sometimes, yeah, you come in against some team that's just a total wagon, and they outshoot you 16-2 in a period, and it was just like, well, they're just better than us, you know, or vice versa. But in this instance, it's a couple of evenly matched teams, both fighting hard for this victory, close game. It's hard to go like half a period with no shots and then just flip a switch and outshoot a team so much in the second half of a period. It's wild, the disparity from like one 10-minute segment to the next in this team.
Because it was 11-5 after the first period, and then at one point in the second period, I remember saying St. Scholastica is now leading in shots at 13-12. And for it to be 27-17 at this point in the hockey game is just remarkable to me.
Right.
That the Yellow Jackets had that many shots in the second half of that period.
And definitely special teams play is a factor in those kinds of shot disparities and dry spells and then hot spells as well. And you saw some of that in that period, obviously, with Scholastica kind of feasting on power plays and then UWS getting some shots in a power play late and then eventually scoring.
So how did we get to this point? The Jackets were up 2-0 after one period, getting a really nice goal early in the first, not early, I guess, 7:38 in. Rupe Tuomioksa scoring an absolutely brilliant goal. And when we run the replays in the postgame tonight, make sure you're watching that because it was a brilliant play by him. It went to 2-0 at 19:25 of the first period. Matt Danziger scoring his third. You're feeling really good about things. And then as the second period unfolded, Jackets got the power play right off the hop because of the protocol violation, which was St. Scholastica entering the ice for the period before the home team. That is NCAA protocol. That is a rule. I liken it to the administrative technical foul you get in basketball because your shot clock is off or the lights on the backboard don't work or something like that. That's basically what this was. And the Jackets didn't take advantage of that opportunity because I felt like if they could have gotten it to 3 at that point, you're in really good shape.
Yeah, the way St. Scholastica had played that first period, in all likelihood, a goal in the first 2 minutes of the second to make it 3-0 Yellow Jackets probably puts this game away.
Yeah, so they had the power play to start the period. The Jackets don't do anything with that power play. 10 seconds later, they take a penalty, and just like that, the Saints are on the board. Evan Pejo is scoring his first goal of the season at 3:05. Really nice shot from the right circle.
Yeah, a ripper of a shot from the right circle, high short side, and that kind of became the script, it seemed like, or the book against Kobe Grant to try to shoot high and shoot short side as well.
That one coming again, 3:05. The assists going. Did we get stat sheets? Oh, we did. Right there. Can you hand me that, please? Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Assist going to Wyatt Wurst and Jan Uvis-Järvi. That was at 3:05, and it was a 2-1 game there. Jackets couldn't stay out of the penalty box after that as they get the double minor. But technically, there is no double minor in Division III college hockey. I get that. It's two-minute minor penalties. They could not kill off the first one, and the Saints were able to tie the game. Luke McCarthy scoring his first on a goal from Braden Junker. Very similar goal. A shot, right circle, up high over the left shoulder.
Yeah, another great shot on that one, and the first college goal for McCarthy.
That one again coming at 10-10, and just like that, the game was tied. And then the switch got flipped, and the Yellow Jackets from there took off. And it didn't dawn on me until I saw the numbers that actually they had that much time in the offensive zone. It didn't seem like they had enough time to get 17 shots on net in the second period,
right?
Because of how the period started. But nonetheless, they got the puck into the offensive zone, and I think methodically kind of worked the momentum back in their favor.
Right, and they absolutely needed it at that point because a game that looked like it was well in hand had suddenly become a real dogfight.
The Yellow Jackets regained the lead at 15-29. Power play goal from Carson Riddle. He's had a good night tonight, rang the iron in the first period. That was a dandy shot.
Right, yeah, and ended up getting the assist later on in that sequence when he rang the iron in the first period. Here, scored the goal. Great shot. He's been highly involved. Nice to see him get the reward for that, and obviously nice to see UWS break through on a power play.
Third goal of the season for Riddle. A.J. Reed and Tyler Ryder had the assist. That was at 15-29. And the Yellow Jackets regained the lead. And then for the most part, I guess the rest of the way, again, the numbers tell you that, they had the puck in the offensive zone for the remainder of that second period.
Yeah, there's a good push there in the end of that period for UWS. Hopefully that momentum can carry over into the third.
Shots on goal in the period, as we mentioned. There's been an edit to that. It is 17 for the Yellow Jackets, two-period total of 28. St. Scholastica had 12. For a two-period total of 17. Penalties in the game so far. The Jackets have taken 5 penalties for 10 minutes. St. Scholastica 4 penalties for 8 minutes. Each team with a power play goal. Jackets 1 for 4. St. Scholastica 1 for 3. There was 1 penalty in the first period. So
right.
Things definitely ramped up a little bit there in the second period. And I have, knowing this rivalry and having been around this game as long as I have, it would not shock me one bit if the temperature went up a couple more degrees in the third.
I think especially if UWS scores and makes this a 2-goal lead or even a 3-goal lead, if there becomes a big disparity in goals, yeah, there could be some fireworks in the third for sure.
Kobe Grant has made 15 saves between the pipes for the Yellow Jackets so far. At the other end, Caden Edstrom, he's been good. He's made 25 saves thus far in the hockey game, and he had a tough debut yesterday for him against Lawrence, losing 5-0. His team didn't do him a lot of favors in front of him, but he's been pretty good between the pipes today.
Yeah, it's fun to see him be brave and get the opportunity, and he's been battling in there for the Saints today.
3-2, the Yellow Jackets have the lead after 2. We'll take a timeout and come back with more of our second intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. We're back here at Westman Arena, 2 periods in the books. The Yellow Jackets with a 3-2 lead over St. Scholastica in the Consolation Championship game of the 2025 Superior Showdown, sponsored by Subway. It's our second intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated. Second Yellow Jacket sporting event of the day. The first one was men's basketball returning home to the Mertz. And they took on Loris, the Dewhawks, out of Dubuque, Iowa. Jackets had a lead early in that game, but ended up falling to the Dewhawks 68-65. It was Caden Leshy who Led the Yellow Jackets, led all scorers actually with 21 points. Also had 6 assists and 4 rebounds, 3 steals, so a good all-around effort for him today. Evan Bennett finishing the day with 10 points as the 2 Yellow Jackets are shooting double figures today. And I heard Evan Ludwig on the mic at that one saying Bennett hit a 3 from Belknap today. So way downtown on that one. Yellow Jacket women's hockey on the road here this evening. They'll be taking on number 7 St. Norbert College at the Resch Olympic Pavilion in Hobart, Wisconsin. 7 o'clock today and then 2 p.m. tomorrow for Coach Bree Simon's club, looking for their second win on the campaign. Anyway, 5 minutes away from the drop of the puck, and something tells me that something happened once on this date related to hockey. What might that be?
Yeah, we'll take you back tonight. Not way back, just to the early 90s tonight. But here in Superior, this time of year is synonymous with leftover turkey, and in recent years, the Superior Showdown. But this isn't the community's first foray into post-Thanksgiving hockey tournaments.
Okay.
No, it's not. Back in the early 90s, tonight's opponent, St. Scholastica, actually hosted a turkey field tourney here in Superior. The Days In Thanksgiving Tournament. Not quite as clever on the nickname as the Superior Showdown.
The Days In is gone now, too. That building is now a Dunkin' Donuts.
Right. So Scholastica hosted a post-Thanksgiving tournament here in Superior, the Days In Thanksgiving Tournament. This was right after Scholastica had departed the NCHA, so the Saints kept up relations with some of their old conference rivals by inviting them to play in this tournament. There were also some oddballs, like North Dakota State's club team was invited to participate one year. So in addition to some old NCHA clubs, there were some oddities mixed in there. And on this date in hockey history, November 29th, 1992, the Saints were waking up from a frustrating rumble with one of those former foes, UW-Eau Claire, which rallied to top Scholastica 6-3 in the tournament championship game. At least one person here in Westman Arena this afternoon remembers that tournament and that particular game. And that would be Yellow Jackets assistant coach Brian Meisner. He rolled into that 1992 tournament as the Saints' leading scorer, and he assisted on the Saints' third goal against the Blue Goals.
If this ends the right way and he comes up for the post game tonight, we're going to talk about that. Because number one, I'm willing to bet he does not remember.
Yeah, right. Good point.
He does not remember it, but it would be interesting just to see if he has any recollection at all of an event like that, because that was back in the days when St. Scholastica played their home games at Saha.
Right.
Where
you'll be at 8:15 tomorrow morning.
8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yep.
We're running the mites through practice. But that was where they played their home games for several years. You go back into the 80s, and I believe they played at Pioneer Hall. And then moved over to Saha because they got better hours. They got their own locker room. They were able to have things more favorable for them.
Right. When you talk to some of the old-time Saints players, one of the real impediments to that program, it sounds like, was their ice time situation.
Right.
Like facilities. Those guys were practicing and playing at 10 o'clock at night. And, it was hard to convince guys to go through that, even college guys, to go through what they had to go through to play in that kind of situation.
Right. And so being at Saha, they are able to practice basically any time from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. when school gets out, and before the youth program would take over there. So my whole 4 years we played St. Scholastica, we were at Saha. And that was always an interesting dynamic because it's an Olympic-sized sheet.
Right.
And big fat guys like me don't move very well on Olympic-sized sheets.
Well, let me tell you, I remember watching my 11-year-old daughter out there on that Olympic-sized sheet with all of her teammates, and watching them try to cover that big sheet of ice too. It's a lot of ice.
Oh, it is. It is. And you kind of marvel at the 6-year-old mites that I coach, watching them cover this ice sheet, and they have no idea that they are skating on a sheet that is bigger than anything they will skate on somewhere else, or nowhere near the old 165 by 70 of the Sioux City Auditorium that I played junior hockey in.
Yeah, pretty much the polar opposite of that.
Which to this day, it still boggles the mind at how small that ice sheet was. Just boggles my mind.
St. Scholastica doing a great job here of making sure that UWS got on the ice
there
first.
There will be no protocol violation. Both teams back on the ice. The Yellow Jackets stepping on first. Gobi Grant.
Can you imagine what Coach Williams must have said or thought at that happening? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he laughed. I don't even know.
To his credit, when all of that was being explained, I looked at him over there, and he was stoic. He didn't motion. He didn't do anything. It had to have had a feeling of, you've got to be kidding me
What else could happen?
But they responded very well to that situation.
They sure did.
And so we've got some penalties on the board.
Both teams getting a protocol violation.
Panzer for St. Scholastica and Zach Lucier for the Yellow Jackets.
This is probably having to do with that little skirmish that broke out right at the buzzer at the end of the second period.
Indeed. So we will start period number 3. Skating 4-on-4.
And the Yellow Jackets won a faceoff. Good start.
They come quickly on the attack. Shot taken from the left circle by Roosevelt, and the save is made. And then Roosevelt
gets absolutely mugged.
He got cross-checked 5 times by Evan Pejos in very quick succession. And then Wyatt Worst grabbed him and threw him into the goalpost.
And these are the things that I love about officiating. For some reason, because Roosevelt decided to cruise near the crease after the whistle, the 5 cross-checks are just
totally okay.
Totally okay. That's fine.
And I understand you don't want to get too involved in the game as the official, but that's a penalty.
It's a cross-check.
And I would say the exact same thing going the other way.
Yep.
Jackets controlling the face-off. Bergstrom over to the right circle for Roosevelt, and he whiffs on the one-timer. Now Wyatt Worst from behind his net will start the rush back the other way. He'll pass that one over to Hunter Hansen on the right wing. Hansen loses the puck, catches up to it below the goal line and tries to center. And now the Yellow Jackets will regain control here with Roosevelt passing that one ahead. Ishmael across the line. Ishmael sharp angle shot. Edstrom's going to make the save, and he will hold on. And we'll get a face-off here in the St. Scholastica zone. And I'm going to ask one of the referees about that. Not in an accusatory way, just, and enlighten the broadcaster in me. Did Roosevelt say something? Did he do something? Because he didn't slash. He didn't take a swipe at the puck. He just had the audacity to be near the blue paint.
Yeah, which every coach would tell him to do.
Junker for St. Scholastica clears that one out into the neutral zone. Liam Whitehouse backing it up into Yellow Jacket territory here, playing catch with Jordan Gibbs. Now Whitehouse back for Gibbs, who starts it up the middle here. Gibbs across the St. Scholastica line, loses it. Larson picks it up on the right wing and pushes it down to the right corner in the St. Scholastica zone. Look, is tied up along the wall. Now Junker digs it free, and he's going to give it to Gunderson. Gunderson stumbles over the blue line, but gets it to McCarthy, who crosses into Yellow Jacket territory. McCarthy bumped off the play by Liam Whitehouse. That forces a turnover, and Gibbs has the puck. Fans on the pass, but is able to recover, and he'll curl back. Now Jordan Gibbs picks up speed. Gibbs up the left wing into the St. Scholastica zone, cuts it to the middle and takes a shot that's going to be tipped over the top of the net. Now behind the goal for the Saints, Yellow Yarvi to Gunderson on the right wing. He clears to neutral ice. Jackets quickly back in transition with just the defense pair on the ice. Ryder has it poke checked off his stick by Yellow Yarvi. Penalized players are back on the ice, so we are 5-on-5 for the first time in the third. Giroux across the Yellow Jacket line takes the shot from the high slot, kicked away by Grant. Tuomioksa puts it right onto the tape of Giroux, but his shot's blocked, and now the Jackets come back on the attack. Carson Riddle on the left wing, got it into the offensive zone. Yellow Yarvi has his pass intercepted on the left wing by Riddle. He gets knocked down. Puck is underneath him. Saints work it loose. Jackets get it back for a moment, but now it comes into the neutral zone. Tyler Ryder at the red line flips that back into St. Scholastica territory. Yellow Yarvi giving chase quickly up the left wing for Giroux. Rink wide feet on the right. Scott dumps it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Bergstrom behind his net. Sends it up the right wing. Jackets can't get a stick on it. Now they do get a stick on it and come back the other way. Roosevelt across the St. Scholastica line has it taken away from him. Behind the net, Wyatt Worst. Up the left wing for Giroux. He tips it to the Yellow Jacket blue line where Bergstrom has it now. Bergstrom for the Yellow Jackets. Passes that ahead for Ishmael. It's out of his reach, and that's going to be icing.
A fairly low event start to this third period. Nobody really connecting for anything too threatening. At least not in the way of scoring chances. Been plentiful slashes and cross checks, but
yes, things are still simmering here. 16:45 to go in this third period. Jackets up 3-2. Evan Axel goes off the right wing glass. Worst able to hold the zone. Now it's poked past him. Nickerson up the right wing. Mishandles the puck, and Pejos takes it from him. Evan Pejos circles the net. His pass up the right. Tried to throw up the middle from the right wing board. That hits a skate. Now Wyatt Worst has it here for St. Scholastica, and he'll carry it ahead. Gives it to Kroon, and he'll backhand it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Or check that. It's Uvis Järvi who threw that one in. Hunter Hansen to the left wing corner, hops over the stick of Uvis Järvi. Bergstrom tied up behind the net, leaves it for Ishmael, and he'll float that up the middle. Big check as Austin Paul takes out the St. Scholastica defender, and then they're going to be called for an offside.
a lot of possession there for the Saints, but no shots or scoring chances to show for it. A lot of perimeter play.
15:58 to play in the third. 3-2 Yellow Jackets. Puck flipped out into the neutral zone. Glove down by Junker. His pass for Panzer doesn't connect. Cade Shea takes a swat at that one as it popped up in the air, and it ends up in the Yellow Jacket bench. And we'll do it again. Hahn dumps it into the Yellow Jacket zone. It comes around behind the goal. Austin Paul on the right wing takes a bump, but is able to flip that high in the air down into the St. Scholastica zone, and icing will be the call.
Wow, this is ragged.
Yeah, this is, yeah. I made a reference to sloppiness in the second period following what was a pretty sharply played first. And I think the penalties probably have something to do with that. But this period is not by any means a clean period. Puck comes up to Junker at the left point. He takes the shot, sticked away by Grant. Yellow Jackets regain control but can't clear. Coming on the left wing boards. Has it taken from him. The clearing attempt by Yarmolnik gets high in the air but doesn't go very far. Now it is pushed all the way down. Icing is going to be waved off. Hahn behind his own net for St. Scholastica. Steps out from behind the goal and throws a long pass up the middle. That's going to come all the way down. No icing on the play. Scott behind the net blows a tire. Saints regain control coming in the right wing corner. Has it poked off his stick, but it drops right to Kimball, and his shot is going to be stopped. Rebound up the slot is thrown wide of the Yellow Jacket net. Now Paul on the right wing. He gets run over. Play continuing on as the Saints will regroup at center ice. Jackets get it back. Now they turn it over. This is Gunderson into the Yellow Jacket zone. Drives it to the net. But a nice job there by Tyler Ryder to make sure that he doesn't get a shot away. Now back up ice. Danziger for Paul on the right wing. He tips it into the St. Scholastica zone. Saints will clear it right back the other way. Gunderson on the left wing. Gets spun around by Danziger. The Jackets break up the play, and now the other direction they come. Up the left wing, Dauphiné. He crosses the line, gets around one man, tries to spin around, then gets knocked down. Saints will regain control. Yalo Järvi sends it ahead for Uvis Järvi. It's about as smooth as I can call those two names back to back. Hunter Hansen for the Saints carries into the high slot, takes the shot, he misses wide. Wyatt Worst on the left wing, plays it up to the point, but there's nobody there in a blue sweater. And that's going to come out into the neutral zone now. Pejos backing it up, being watched there and pressured behind the net by Lucier. Pejos gets away. Pejos around Riddle. Crosses the red line and dumps it in. Choking up and chopping at it to clear Axel, but it's going to be held in the zone. Now the puck behind the Yellow Jacket net. Worked over to the right wing corner. Hunter Hansen's going to rotate it back to the left wing side now. Axel flattens out. They're going to call a penalty on that. You got to be kidding me. That's a terrible penalty call by Sean Hauser, the referee. They're going to get Evan Axel for, I have no idea what. That was a clean hit.
Tough break for the Jackets.
That is a very tough break for the Yellow Jackets.
That penalty kill is going to have to dig down deep here.
6:50 is the time of the penalty. It'll be the 5th power play for St. Scholastica. They are currently 2 for 4. I have no idea what he saw. He stepped into him, and it looked like a pretty clean hit to me. At any rate, Jacket PK needs to come through. Wyatt Wurst has it at the left point. Throws it over now. Pejo's right circle, a shot. That one's blocked by Danziger. They're calling contact to the head on that one. So I guess I'd have to look at the replay and find that one out for sure. Up top at the left point, Wyatt Wurst stick handles. Gives to Pejo's right point. Back to Wurst. Pejo's right circle. Gives it down low. Puck comes into the slot. Saints get it back. Uvis Yarvi up top. Pejo's a shot. That's deflected and ends up in the left wing corner. At the left point, Wurst over to the right point. Back over. Hunter Hansen. One-timer from the left circle and the save by Grant. Yellow Jackets need a clear desperately, but they're not going to get it here. Gunderson now to Pejo's. Wyatt Wurst down the slot. Fires. Glove save made by Grant. He'll hold on. And we're going to have a face-off in the Yellow Jacket zone.
Good save with the right leg pad there. Key save on that one-timer from Kobe Grant.
See what happens when you win the face-off on the power play? I mean, that's 49 seconds of ozone time where they had the Yellow Jackets going all over the place.
Right.
Face-off to Grant's left. Fresh power play unit and penalty kill unit on the ice here. Jackets win the draw this time. And Dusty Bergstrom will send that all the way down the ice. Behind the goal now, stepping out with it. Junker. Over to Scott on the right wing. He played it toward the front of the Yellow Jacket net. Jackets get a stick on it. And then Logan Nickerson will fire that all the way down the ice. As we pass the 8-minute mark of the third period, 3-2 Yellow Jackets. Now a steal. Carson Riddle carries to the right corner. And he's going to play it all the way back to his own blue line. Danzinger's got it there. To the left side for Tyler Ryder, and he'll dump it in. Behind the St. Scholastica net, Junker pressured there by Ishmael. Leaves it for McCarthy. Over now to the right side, Scott. Jackets with the steal, shorthanded. Daniel Roosevelt on the breakaway, goes to the backhand, and he scores! Roosevelt causing the turnover in the neutral zone. Forehand, backhand, top shelf. His 5th of the season, and the Jackets are in front 4-2.
Beautiful goal and a 2-goal margin for UWS here almost midway through the third. Shorthanded goal. Boy, special teams game. So important tonight.
It absolutely is. So the special teams battle now even. Saints with 2 power play goals. The Jackets with a power play goal and a shorty. And see, that's another one I'd like to question, because Roosevelt creates the turnover and Junker is lumberjacking on his arm the whole way back, and neither referee raises their arm in that situation.
For your Yellow Jackets was number 9, Daniel Roosevelt. He gets that goal unassisted.
Roosevelt, the shorthander, 2nd of the season for the Yellow Jackets. They're up 2 with just over 11 minutes to go. Sharp angle shot by Kroon, gloved and held by Kobe Grant. And we'll get a face-off in the Yellow Jacket zone. Shots now 31-22. So the Yellow Jackets with 3 shots on goal thus far in this third period. 5 for St. Scholastica, but the Yellow Jackets lighten the lamp.
Little indecision here as to whether this is going to be a media timeout or not. The buzzer sounded, And the goalie for St. Scholastica started making his way to the bench, but then the referee sent him back.
Yeah, because it's got to be past the 10-minute mark of the period, and there's 11:04 remaining. Face-off in the Yellow Jackets zone to Grant's right. Saints win the face-off. Wyatt Wurst gives it into the slot. Cumming wanted the one-timer. Handcuffed him a little bit, and he ends up putting it in the corner. Now the Yellow Jackets poke it the other way. This is going to be Roosevelt again. Roosevelt takes the shot, and the save is made by Edstrom. And then he gets flattened by Evan Pejos, and that better be a major. With some of the stuff that's happened here today, that better be a major penalty.
I like the way UWS is responding, going after Pejos here. That was one of the dirtier plays I've ever seen calling a game.
They're calling for the trainer who's making his way down to the door, and Daniel Roosevelt still on the ice. And I'm not one who calls out officials very often. That better be a major penalty. And if they find a way to even this out, good Lord.
Pejos should be done for the night.
He should be done for the night, because that's an attempt to injure.
If he's not, I think you'll see a player from the Yellow Jackets taking upon himself to try to end Pejos' night.
Vigilante justice. Pejos is making his way to the penalty box here, and that I hope that's a major. Daniel Roosevelt is up onto a knee now, which is good. Liam Whitehouse is going to the penalty box. Wyatt Wurst is going to the penalty box, and I'm going to run out of lines on my scorebook here.
That applause is for Daniel Roosevelt, now up skating off gingerly, but under his own power.
9:14 is the time.
Has a few things to say to the St. Scholastica bench as he exits. Holding his left arm very close to his body here. And as we discussed between periods, if we saw this become a 2-goal or more margin, we thought this might happen, and that has indeed been the case.
So a pretty long discussion going on at the scorer's table right now. I would love to have the mic hanging above them just to kind of see what the discussion is about. I mean, I know what it's about. They're trying to decide how this is going to go, but that should be a major penalty.
Yeah. All right, the officials are breaking up and the door is opening.
Which usually means that it's time for somebody to exit, and it is going to be the end of the evening for Evan Pejos, and that's the right call.
Yeah.
It's the right call because of the penalty that he committed, and the right call for keeping order restored.
Exactly, and that's what I was getting at. If they left him in the game, I think UWS would have no choice but to spend the next 10:46 trying to end his night themselves. So removing him from the ice is probably justice for the play, and also probably the best thing to try to lower the temperature of this game the rest of the way.
Whatever all of the penalties are, they will be at 9:14. Liam Whitehouse has 4 minutes on the board, which would lead me to believe. Does Wyatt Wurst also have 4 minutes on the board? If this is one of these where the Yellow Jackets come out with 1 minute of power play time after that hit, I'm going to have some questions.
Trying to find Daniel Roosevelt and see if he's still on the bench for UWS or if he made his way off for some repairs.
I don't see the trainer, so I am leaning toward...
Yep. He's still there. He's shaking, kind of rolling that left wrist of his a little bit, but he's still on the bench, still standing. He's actually chatting with the linesman
very
now.
hard.
Yeah.
The fact that all of his body parts are intact. Okay, so those come off the board, and there's the major on Pejos.
We've got coincidental roughings on the other two probably then.
That's what I am assuming.
And yeah, the Yellow Jackets have 5 on the ice with Carson Riddle coming on to take the face-off, so it'll be a 5-on-4 power play for UWS. And a chance to put this game away with at least one power play goal here, maybe more.
Power play sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Saints control the face-off, and Hunter Hansen carries it up into the Yellow Jackets zone. Major power play here for the Yellow Jackets.
It's got number 72, Evan Pejos. receives a 5-minute major for boarding and a game disqualification.
Okay, so he's out for their next game then.
For number 4, Wyatt Worst, he receives a double minor for roughing. And number 25 for the Yellow Jackets, Liam Whitehouse, receives a double minor for roughing.
Reed on the right wing side for the Jackets, cycles it down low for Riddle. The puck comes behind the St. Scholastic net clearing attempt, held in at the right point. Walking it to the middle now, Ryder. Over to Gibbs in the left circle. That shot's going to miss wide, and it'll carry him all the way back down to the Yellow Jacket blue line, where they will regroup. Riddle over to Ishmael on the right wing, left wing rather, rink wide on the right, Bergstrom. He'll leave it for Yarmolnik here. Alexei Yarmolnik. Yellow Jackets on the power play. The power play sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Clean, reliable, Superior. Bergstrom at the right point. Now for Ishmael, right circle. Fires and scores! Third of the year for Chris Ishmael. And it's 5-2.
Good traffic out front for the Yellow Jackets there, taking away the goaltender's eyes, and a great shot.
Bergstrom will get one of the assists. It'll be his second apple of the day. Power play continuing here for the Yellow Jackets.
2 power play goals in one game.
Pinch me, Jason. Pinch me.
Here we go.
At center, Bergstrom across the red line. He dumps it in. It comes around the boards. Up to the right point. Shot by Axel.
Was number 23, Chris Ishmael. He gets an assist from number 6, Dusty Bergstrom. That's Ishmael from Bergstrom. That goal coming at 10:32.
10:32 of the third period, the time. Jackets back in the offensive zone again. Right wing corner, Dauphiné. Hey, and with that goal, custard for everybody.
Hey, first time.
Along the end boards, behind the St. Scholastica net, Dauphiné feeds it up top at the right point. Axel, left point, Bergstrom, back to Axel. He takes the shot, and that'll be deflected over the glass and out of play. 2:52 remaining in the major penalty to Evan Pejos. 8:37 remaining here in the third period. Yellow Jackets with the 5-2 lead.
Emmett Worst doing a good job matching sticks there, deflecting that shot out of play for the Saints.
Face off, Jackets win it. Saints come away with it. Hunter Hansen in the neutral zone. Loses control of the puck, and the Jackets will back it up and regroup. Danziger behind the net, leaving it for Ryder, who carries it up the middle. Tyler Ryder for the Yellow Jackets across the red line, weaves over to the right wing, pulls up, gets knocked down. Tried to get the puck to Cade Shea, and he did a good job of laying on top of it long enough until reinforcements could help him out. But eventually the Saints are going to send it the other way. And the Jackets, did he get called for one here? Yeah, we're going to get called. They're going to get Ryder for a slash.
I think he's going to take them both, one for holding the stick and one for slashing. Ryder will get the slash.
Ryder the slash, and no, it's just going to be Ryder.
Yep. He was tangled up with a Saints player, and they were sparring a little bit, and then there was a blatant slash from Tyler Ryder, which everybody in the building saw that.
I get the frustration, but you can't do that.
Right.
That's just not a smart penalty.
Nullifies the power play.
They'll have 19 seconds of power play time afterward, but, you're a senior, Tyler Ryder. We got to know better than that. Saints control the face-off. Junker is going to float a backhand down to the right wing corner. Puck comes back behind the net now. Uvis Yarvi up top to Junker at the left point. He gets away from Riddle, then loses the puck in the left circle. Junker's got it again. Out to the front of the net. One-timer and a glove save and a beauty from Kobe Grant.
Best save of the night by Grant. I don't know if that pass was slightly redirected on its way to the shooter, but he got all of it. Grant was very quick with that glove.
Going from his right to his left and snares the one-timer out of the air. And we're going to get a face-off here to Grant's left. Minute and 41 left in the minor penalty to Ryder. 7:45 to play in the third. 5-2 Yellow Jackets. Larson clears it out into the neutral zone. Junker at his own blue line, pressured by Larson, who blows a tire, and Junker's going to come to the middle with it now. Weaves over to the right wing. It's poked off his stick. Hahn following it up. Flips it toward the net. Grant makes the save. Penalty coming. They're going to get another one on the Yellow Jackets here, so the Saints are going to come out of it with a 4-on-3 power play.
Jordan Gibbs doing a good job there of keeping a glove on the ice and redirecting that puck to the left. That almost ended up in the net. As he was sliding into his own goalie on his belly, he kind of shoved the puck off to the side. Not sure if the whistle would have nullified it, but that was dangerously close.
So it's going to be tripping on Danziger. Each team currently without their top defense pair. All serving some pims here. Jackets win the draw, and it's sent all the way down by Bergstrom. Sixth power play now for St. Scholastica. Panzer carrying it up the left wing into the Yellow Jacket zone. Feeds behind the net for Gunderson. Hahn in the right wing corner. Comes back up top. Junker left circle. High slot. Panzer. That one blocked in front by Dusty Bergstrom. Behind the net, Panzer. Knocked off the play by Alexei Yarmolnik. Now the puck's going to be worked over to the left wing corner. Yarmolnik gets there first, and he's going to fire that all the way down the ice. Both teams changing personnel here as coming from behind the goal, Junker. 4-on-3 power play for St. Scholastica as they cross the Yellow Jacket line. Coming from the left circle, pulls it to his backhand and loses control. He gets it back. Up to the left point for Junker. He walks, gives it to Cumming, back over to the right wing side looking for Hunter Hansen, but that pass is behind him. Now it's played up to the blue line. Junker. The right circle. Hansen, a shot that's going to miss high. Puck comes up to the blue line. Cumming holds the zone, walks down the slot, fires, and that goes off the outside of the goal. Jackets break it up, and then that's going to be sent all the way down the ice. Ryder out of the penalty box, so we're 4-on-4 right now for another 10 seconds, and then technically St. Scholastica will go back on the power play. Which is happening right now.
But they haven't put anybody on the ice.
But now they finally did. Now they finally did, and then Worst and Whitehouse will come out of the penalty box.
Some of the Saints players on the bench were pointing to the penalty box door.
Because what happened, they didn't put anybody in to serve the major. And so when the major expired, nobody came out of the penalty box to tell them, hey, we're back to full strength. I don't understand why the officials didn't make them put somebody in the box. In the neutral zone, the Jackets have it here. Yarmolnik for Evan Axel, and he'll fire that all the way down the ice. It goes off the glove of Edstrom. He'll set it up there for Yalo Yarvi. Now up the left wing, McCarthy. His pass is going to be tipped. It comes all the way down. Grant will cover. The penalized player is back on. And for the first time in roughly 5 minutes, we're 5-on-5. Yellow Jacket fans get the same gear the Yellow Jackets wear by visiting the Yellow Jacket Sideline store. Browse the latest styles of gear, including shirts, shorts, sweatshirts, outerwear, and more. The Yellow Jacket Sideline store can be found at uwsyellowjackets.com/shop. I mean, it is the holiday season, too, so why not, right?
Right.
Stock up on all the styles for your family and friends.
Absolutely. Did you manage to stay away from any of the stores over the last few days, or were you out doing some shopping?
Kidding me? I was here. Had 2 games yesterday, man.
That's great. Work keeps you away from all that stuff.
You know, I'm more of a Cyber Monday Christmas shopper.
Yeah.
Take advantage of those deals as opposed to Black Friday. I don't really enjoy shopping anyway,
in person, right? Yeah,
you know,
and it's no fun.
It's never been a joy of mine to head to a mall, especially at this time of the year. So
it's wild to get like the 500 emails you get this time of year, though, like marketing emails. I mean, like Under Armour, I know you're there. Like the 8th time I've got the email from you in the last 24 hours.
And you have a Black Friday sale, I know that too.
Yep, I know. It's happening. Thank you.
Danziger for the Yellow Jackets flips it up the right wing boards out into the neutral zone here. And a penalty coming on the Yellow Jackets. They're going to get Cade Shea. Even though he was locked in with a St. Scholastica player, it's only going to be one penalty here. It's going to be Shea instead of Shea and Yellow Yarvi.
Keeping that bench warm over there in the penalty boxes.
Yeah, Beth Schneider, don't bother sitting down. You're going to be opening that door again and again and again. 15:01 the time of this one. I didn't see the signal.
I didn't either.
I believe this is power play number 7.
Closing in on 50 minutes in combined penalties here tonight.
Puck in the right wing corner, Yellow Jackets zone. Interference was the call on Cade Shea. And now we get a whistle.
Yeah.
And it looks like Gunderson wants a piece of Andrew Larson.
Sure does.
There's a punch thrown. Curious how this is going to go. Is this one of these where we take one each way? I imagine.
A good Roseau versus Duluth-Denfeld battle here. Larson getting a penalty largely for just being a recipient of a lot of whacks to the back of the head and back of his legs here.
15:20 the time of these penalties. Seriously, this might be the furthest down the penalty board I've ever gone in my scorebook. I assume roughing?
That will put us over 50 combined minutes in this one. Not shocking.
No.
We knew this had that kind of potential tonight. Hope you didn't make any early dinner reservations, and I know you did not, because your dinner is going to be the nightcap of the Superior Showdown.
Yeah, there's still another game coming up here today. The championship game between Dubuque and Lawrence. That's a 7 o'clock face-off. I mean, we might still be playing. There may only be 3 players left for each team. So Gunderson is being escorted out of the playing surface. Andrew Larson having the same done to him going the other way.
And because of the great design of Westman Arena, they don't have to walk off together down the tunnel, so we're not going to have any Nick Fotillo type outbreaks in the hallway.
That's a dynamite drop, Nick Fotillo. Wow.
The two combatants are well separated.
Not like the old days.
No.
Hashtag remember Elmira.
Or Boston Garden. There were some notable Bruins North Stars tilts in the hallway.
Friend of mine watched the penalty minute game, as it's referred to, a couple days ago. Like, yeah, Bobby Smith and Steve Casper right off the faceoff. Jackets win the faceoff. And Tyler Ryder will send that all the way down the ice.
Power play continues.
For St. Scholastica, number 7, Gavin Gunderson. He receives a 5-minute major misconduct for head contact. And for the Yellow Jackets, number 14, Andrew Larson. He receives a 5-minute major misconduct for face masks.
Okay, so that's interesting here. We'll talk about that here in a moment. In the high slot, Hunter Hansen takes a shot. That one doesn't go as it's blocked in front, and the Yellow Jackets clear.
Liam Whitehouse with the big block there. He was stung by that one a little bit, but he's staying on the ice.
Wyatt Worst now for St. Scholastica. Gets it into the Yellow Jacket zone, and it's going to be mishandled at the line, but held nicely by Kroon. Unfortunately for him, his pass picked off, and Dusty Bergstrom is going to send that all the way down the ice. From behind his net now, it's passed over to the left wing. McCarthy dumps it into the Yellow Jacket zone, right wing corner. Puck comes along the boards, up to Junker at the left point. He pulls it to the middle. Now to Panzer, left circle. He takes the shot. It's blocked in front by Axel. Gibbs plays that one away from trouble. It's going to go back around behind the goal. Scott throws it up to Panzer at the left point. Broken up by Carson Riddle. Giroux has it here. His pass is going to be tipped, and that'll come back into Saints territory. Cade Shea exits the penalty box, and we are back to 5-on-5. Big check by Danziger as he flattens Riley Giroux just inside the Yellow Jacket blue line. Now back the other way, Roosevelt with the steal. He has it poked off his stick. Rielts regains control for St. Scholastica and plays that one back. Now the puck flipped ahead to center. Jackets intercept. Long shot from neutral. Kicked away by Edstrom. Rebound comes up the slot. Clemenson in the right circle was right there, but he mishandles the pass. Now it comes back over to Clemenson again. Feeds it into the slot. Ishmael the shot. The save is made. The rebound picked up and carried back the other direction. Declan Young for St. Scholastica. He's going to be relieved of the puck. And Ryder carries it back the other way. Tyler Ryder from the left wing. His pass hits his skate. Along the end boards, Ishmael takes Kimball into the wall. Ishmael picks up the puck. Centering feed out front. The shot on the doorstep by Tuo Mioksa is going to be stopped. And back the other way now come the Saints. They cross the red and dump it in. Bergstrom here. Circles behind his net and starts up the right side. Now he's going to cut it to the middle. Pass ahead is going to be behind Tuo Mioksa. Comes all the way down. He wins the race to the puck and centers. But it's picked off on the back check by Rielts. 99 seconds to go here. Tuo Mioksa with a one-timer from the right circle. It's blocked by Kimball. Now behind the goal, Lucier. Up top at the right point, Axel fires. That hits traffic in front. Puck pops up into the left wing corner. Big check along the end boards as Kimball flattens Lucier.
Good shift by Kimball there.
Puck's going to come all the way back down into the Yellow Jacket zone. Bergstrom's pass to Lucier right side. He dumps it in. Wyatt Worst circles his net and passes it ahead on the right wing. Broken up as Lucier takes his man off the puck. Gibbs feeds that one over to the right wing for Clemenson, and we have less than a minute to go here in this third period. Wyatt Worst carries through center. Drops it back for Riley Giroux. Now over to Cumming, left circle, a shot. Grant makes the save. Austin Paul's got it here for Danziger. He'll leave it for Brady Clemenson, the junior out of Edina. The real one, not the Iron Range one. His pass now ahead for Austin Paul, who's 1-on-5 with the remainder of his line changing. Wyatt Worst has it behind his net. Gives it to Hahn. Now back over to Wyatt Worst. He'll carry it up the left wing into the Yellow Jacket zone. Broken up there, and the Jackets clear. Final seconds are going to tick off the clock here. And this is one of those, Jason, where the Jackets once again respond. Wasn't the prettiest outing at times, but they responded when they had to. And the final score here today, despite the fact the clock did not make a sound when it counted all the way down, Yellow Jackets 5, St. Scholastica 2. We'll take a timeout here and come back with the postgame show, sponsored by Synovus Energy and the Superior Refinery right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. Postgame show sponsored by Synovus Energy and the Superior Refinery. And it comes following a 5-2 victory for the Yellow Jackets in the consolation game of the 2025 Superior Showdown, sponsored by Subway. And it was pretty much everything that you would expect a Superior St. Scholastica matchup to be. There was plenty of extracurriculars. It was a very heated day, and it's one of those that we've come to expect from these two programs over the last several decades.
This was the kind of game we expected in the team's first meeting this year and did not get. So we got it here in the second meeting.
Well, I remember saying I thought it was like the least physical Superior St. Scholastica game I had ever seen. Well, that definitely changed here today.
Yeah, they made up for it.
They definitely made up for it in more ways than one, because both teams came out with much more of an edge, and you could tell that it was that day where each one of these coaches looked at their teams and said, okay, here's how we're going to have to do this, and I better see some spirit here from people, and I think that came through. Some of it clean, some of it not clean, but I think that's how it all came through today.
Yeah, definitely going to be some sore players. There was a lot of intensity tonight. Some of it definitely crossed the line, which you never like to see.
No, but the Yellow Jackets, more importantly, they get the victory here now, and they have 4 games left here in the first half. And that's going to be, they're all conference games here until the break. So important to get a win here, important to get out on a good note, because your next 4 games are, now you got points on the line, and they can't afford what they've been doing here over the last few weeks.
And I think there are a lot of positives that they can take from this game tonight that hopefully they can carry into that. Seeing the power play get back on track and score a couple of goals, things like that. A lot of good things, and hopefully they can build off that now when the games really start to mean something.
Let's jump into our post-game summary. The Yellow Jackets opening the scoring with a couple of goals in a very well-played first period. First one coming at 7:38. Rupe Tuo Mioksa scoring his 4th of the season from Carson Riddle, and this goal was an absolute beauty.
Yeah, fantastic goal here. Starts off on a nice 2-on-1 and then finishes on a great individual play.
4th of the year for Rupe, puts the Jackets in front 1-0. Fourth of the season for Rupe Tuo Mioksa. Carson Riddle the assist, 7:38, and it was a 1-0 lead for the Yellow Jackets. Stayed that way until the final minute at 19:25. Matt Danziger whistling the one-timer past goaltender Cade Nedstrom for his 3rd. Dusty Bergstrom the assist, and it was a 2-0 Yellow Jacket lead. Absolute rocket from Matt Danziger, and here's a guy who hadn't scored in 2 years, and now in the first 9 games this year, he's lit the lamp 3 times.
Yeah, funny how that works out sometimes. Great shot there, and also some good traffic out front. I think we had Dauphiné out front on that one, causing a little commotion and taking the goalie's eyes away.
2-0 Yellow Jackets after 1. Shots on goal in the first period favoring the Yellow Jackets, 11-5. Yellow Jackets get the power play on the protocol violation to start the second period. Do nothing with it. Immediately take a penalty. St. Scholastica wrestles the momentum away there because they pop one on the power play right away.
Yeah, it really changed the whole game when Scholastica scores this goal.
So Evan Pejo is scoring from the right circle, beating Kobe Grant up high for his first, and that made it a 2-1 game. Saints tie the game at 10-10 of the period when Luke McCarthy scores his first of the season. Another power play goal, another one from the right circle, another one beating Kobe up high.
Yeah, both goals, short side, high shots, just absolute rocket snipe shots. They were great shots, but I'm sure frustrating for Kobe Grant to get beat short side twice.
The Yellow Jackets finally get off the schneid on the power play and get the eventual game winner at 15-16 of the second period. Carson Riddle getting his 3rd, Ryder and Reed getting the assist. This was a huge goal in more ways than one.
Yeah, massive goal, big relief on the power play.
Carson Riddle's 3rd makes it 3-2.
To Riddle, Carson Riddle, back to Ryder in the right wing corner. Riddle in the right corner now. Up top, right point, Ryder, 20 left in the power play. Riddle fires and scores!
Good puck movement there, because you could listen to it if you're watching on Yellow Jacket TV. You can see it. Really good puck movement on this power play, and a nice shot from Carson Riddle, getting that Jackets off the schneid again and giving them the lead for good.
The relief was visible when he scored that goal for him, for his teammates, and that was the one they needed.
That coming at 15-16, 3-2 Yellow Jackets after 2. Shots on goal in that second period. The Yellow Jackets 17 for a 2-period total of 28, and St. Scholastica 12 for a 2-period total of 17. In the third period, all hell broke loose. loose, and there was penalties galore. I think we had more time with penalties and more time on special teams than we actually had at 5-on-5 for that period. And again, the special teams coming through big for the Yellow Jackets in the third period, 1 shorty, 1 power play.
Yeah, you just couldn't have written up a better second half of that game from a specialty teams perspective for UWS, being able to light the lamp on the power play a couple times and then get the shorty as well.
First shorty, the second shorty of the year, it came at 8:33. It was Daniel Roosevelt all alone, and it was 4-2 Yellow Jackets. Shorthanded goal for Roosevelt, his 5th of the season at 8:33 of the third period. It was a 4-2 lead for the Yellow Jackets, and then they added another power play goal at 10:32 of this third period. Chris Ishmael scoring his third from Dusty Bergstrom, and that was part of that major penalty and everything there on the hit that Pejos delivered on Daniel Roosevelt. Power play made him pay.
You always want to get that little bit of revenge by being able to score in those kind of power play situations, and to do that must have felt really good, I'm sure.
Ishmael's third made the final score, 5-2. Ishmael's third from Bergstrom at 10:32, making the final score 5-2. Shots on goal in the third period. Yellow Jackets had 10 for a game total of 38. That is a season high. I muttered to myself at some point today, they better have 40 shots today. Well, they came up just a bit short of that. St. Scholastica, meanwhile, had 11 shots on goal for a game total of 28. Penalties in the game.
There were a lot of them.
There was a ton. And I think some of that is still up for debate. I know the referees were looking at the game sheet over there, and I don't feel like counting them all up to do the math. But there was a lot of penalties in there, and I think some power plays are probably a little bit goofed up too. Yellow Jackets 2 for 6 on the power play by my count. St. Scholastica 2 for 7 on the power play by my count. Kobe Garrett gets the winning goal today here for the Yellow Jackets. He's now 1-0-1 on the season. He finishes the day with 26 saves. At the other end, Caden Edstrom, he finishes the game with 33 saves. His record now 0-2. Overall, the Yellow Jackets improving to 5-3-1. St. Scholastica falling to 3-5-1. And the most important thing of all, 5 goals scored means everybody's going to get free custard from Culver's.
If only it was delivered here right now. That could be the only thing that would top
Maybe we should get a Culver's kiosk in the lobby. How do you feel about that?
Like it.
At any rate, we'll bring in assistant coach Brian Meisner. And Mouse, last night we stood here and lamented another rough effort on Friday, but then we talked about having the answer. And by and large, today your team had the answer. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't pretty, but it was light years better than what we saw last night.
100%.